Is that okay? Because they're only like, you know, they're not like major bosses. Or
No,
anything
exactly.
Like that. They're just like
having said that, like, I did really enjoy seeing the brains and the fucking Alhu for the first time.
That's cool. Also gives a description and you like show the actual.
Yeah, that's
okay.
Maybe because it will
But
only.
Will will probably say
it
otherwise, so he'll probably want to see. So you can show Will, and I'll just sit here like.
It'll probably go out in the next couple of sessions anyway, so that it won't be too long.
Oh no, I'm just gassed about them.
Yeah.
Like, you know, need to get a light.
Yeah, when that might. I
need
just
to get
remember
some
how
a
excited
photo
I
lighting.
was. When all these little brains.
Oscar says I should.
Oh my
put,
god, they're so sick.
Oscar says I should put a photo of it on Reddit.
Yeah.
I was thinking this the other day. I do have a couple of lights.
Yeah.
Oh
no, for here.
Is it like camera lights?
That,
Oh,
yeah.
Is that not what you're talking about?
Yeah, that's exactly
But
what.
Drago's been delivered yet.
About mini painting.
No.
Yeah, but as in
Oh,
for them
I'd
taking a
like
photo
to
of it,
email.
you need
Oh, I
like
see.
proper light.
I'll
It would
message
help
them again and
for
say, is he coming? They're
painting
waiting for it
a
to
lot.
return
A
or
lot.
something.
Can you turn the stand just slightly towards me? Wait, sorry, other way, towards Merrill. Like.
Could we
Yeah, that's good, that's good, that's good.
could we potentially just have them for mini painting because they'd obviously be so.
You've got Bosch's ones.
That is technically a grow light.
James, this
It's just
is
LED bulbs though.
this is the kind of quality. Like you get some really good ones, but you know.
Do you have the
People-
joint, Jonesy?
Let's have it.
Jonesy?
Like you
It's
know,
not.
it's not a million miles off what you're
Is it?
doing.
One track mind.
What?
Sure. Do you have the joint?
It fell into the ashtray. Sorry.
Is that right?
That's
I mean,
a big
that
one.
But you know, like these guys, you're as good as these, pretty much. You know?
You reckon?
Yeah, for sure. You could do that, almost.
Yeah, fair.
What are you talking about?
I'm just encouraging James to show the minis to the world because they're really impressive, I think.
I did two more new ones today. I really want to show them.
How's your big boy coloured?
Oh, this is why I want to show you them. I did a case study of what the big ones, like flesh, is going to look like. So I used the same colours for the.
Oh, you on about the thing that was being printed when we were here on Saturday?
Yeah, so he's been Have you seen him put together? Oh my god.
Hey, show him.
Yeah.
I feel the
I don't want to shake Gluttony. I don't want to shake Gluttony.
I know.
I'm
saying, but
I'm
I'm saying
happy
you
to
can.
wait. I'm happy to wait for all of
I'm
it.
not because Gluttony's gonna look. He's gonna take so long.
They've all
And there's
seen
gonna be
Gluttony though, right?
Yeah.
No, none of them have seen them
I saw,
assembled.
I saw most of Gluttony. on
Most of
Sunday.
Gluttony.
Fair.
Fair.
Had it sort
Oscar
of-
said he hadn't.
I've not seen him
Oh,
assembled.
fair. Well, it's a big difference painting
Yeah.
and not.
Yeah, fair. Okay.
So this guy is probably like, there's no plans for him. It's just at some point I'm going to use it and it's going to be sick. So it would be quite cool to see it. So then you like, when I do bust them out, you'll be like, oh, it's finally.
You would use Gluttony?
At some point.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
yeah.
But it would probably be like, you know, it would have to be in a very different setting. Like you'd have to be in
Yeah.
hell or something.
So sick. Fuck, the detail on the teeth is crazy, isn't
Pick
it?
him up. It's fine.
He's all super glued and Miller putted
Yeah.
and Dremelled. You can take your Dremel back by the way. Cheers.
Mate, I'll leave it here.
You sure?
Yeah.
Alright.
You'll need it again, won't you?
Sick.
Probably.
That's so cool.
That's gonna take fucking ages to paint.
Yeah.
I know. I can't wait. I can't wait to sink an entire weekend of my life.
When we've got him, I might just keep him like nearby, looming the day he does finally.
Every
come.
session comes like 10 inches closer.
Do you remember that Lord of the Rings game we played, the board game, and like
Oh,
and
yeah,
like
yeah.
Sauron gradually gets closer and
Moves
closer,
and shit gets
yeah.
harder.
Yeah.
Are these bad guys on the same
That
level as
so
the
sick.
Alhu?
What level was the Alhu?
As in, like, what was his CR? His combat. So his combat rating was 13.
13.
Yeah.
Is that
Fairly
hard?
squishy though.
20.
Just 'cause he's
Pretty
so,
squishy.
just 'cause he's so dangerous.
Yes. Yeah.
Fucking hell.
His extract brain ability is pretty fucking brutal.
Yeah.
Does 10d10 and got 74, so well above average.
For
but
comparison,
not
a
max.
T-Rex is challenge rating 9.
Wait, say that again.
A T-Rex is
Are
challenge
these
rating
the
9.
same rating or
What
weaker?
challenge rating is that?
These guys are
13.
Oh, right, oh,
now
right.
Balloon,
Oh,
there's going to be a
right.
lot more.
That's what CR is.
Oh.
Okay, because they're more like.
I don't want to spoil
Okay.
anything. I want you to see them and then decide whether you're going to be able to fight them or not. And hopefully learn your fucking lesson from fucking with Drow.
You said a pile of goodies.
Yeah, you know what? I'm just going to spoil the alternate thing that I was... because I don't even know why I plan anything. But the idea was that I thought you guys were going to see them struggling, help them out. They were gonna take you to their settlement and like as a reward give you some of their items.
Don't be
But
silly.
instead, I'm like, yeah. So there's this basically impossible, impenetrable magic box, which is hotly protected by pretty much the most badass motherfuckers you've ever seen. You're like, how about kill?
That's
The whole time I was really trying to like not do too many expressions when you were thinking of plans. I was just thinking in my head like, don't fight them, come on guys, don't do it.
So you convinced me to fight them.
I didn't do anything.
You did. You said one thing when we were going to leave. I think someone was. We were like still discussing whether we should fight or not. We were I'll probably go. And Will was like to you, "Have we made a mistake here?" And you were like, "No sweat off my back." And I sure didn't mean it, but in my head I was like, "That means it is sweat off his back if we go." So it's really good.
He must be lying.
It's sweat off our back if we don't go.
Nothing you guys ever do is any swell.
You're irrelevant in the Dungeon Master's world.
I don't care what ants are doing.
He is bad.
Yeah, you do.
I do care about that.
It's the whole fucking job.
It's my career.
So the
Oh, so if you put some like putty and shit round the joints,
Yeah,
to
especially
try
around
and
his-
hide the joints,
Around his
basically.
ass, which didn't fit very well, the legs to ass connection.
but
Technical
luckily
term.
Right, shall we begin?
I think it hides it pretty well. Yeah, let's.
So, we'll begin the session with Enoch, after having dispatched Elictu, has now gone over to Tide and has spent some time reminiscing and examining, holding the body and allowing yourself to go through some grief. Meanwhile, I imagine.
is Dorwin still here, or is he
Oh,
in
I'm
the
in
dark
darkness.
thing?
Yeah, I'll just
Sure.
let him describe that. So, and by this, I'll say that some time's elapsed, and Dorwin, you've kind of pulled in this darkness, and you've kind of like grounded yourself a bit and shaken your head, and you're just sort of taking in the situation. I don't necessarily know what would Gesh be doing at the moment.
He would be, I think, just sort of almost in shock,
Maybe like timidly lighting a pipe sort of thing to try and settle his nerves or something.
Yeah, or
Seems stoic, but it's a little bit shaky.
Yeah, like wanting to seem like he's still composed for the sake of trying to look after the group in a way, and seeming like he's got it all together, but inside just feeling like totally like lost and like, because we've now been travelling for months and months together, and I, has grown. He, despite our early sort of, banter and fighting and stuff between Gesh and Elictu, has grown very attached to both Tide and Elictu, and so for this to happen, they were kind of like family with the way the Dragonborn think, and how they become very.
You've lost your
Very
tribe
clan,
members.
they're very clan sort of orientated, and sort of two of my closest kin have now been killed. That I'm sort of, I guess in a way, by Enoch being so emotive with his actions, I've sort of like living through that in a way, but making a point of trying to retain a veneer of composure, maybe even sort of trying to make it seem like I'm keeping guard almost, and just keeping an eye on, because we're on top of this building, aren't we?
No,
where we killed Elictu,
Yeah.
Oh well, yeah, I was
We've
saying
gone
you
back
maybe
and
gone back.
we're sitting like around tide now.
Oh, okay, fine.
I
Yeah. Okay, yeah, no, fine. So that would make sense. You and I would.
Maybe we could have said we carried Elliptu's body from the top of the building, like down, and sort of like laid them out together.
So how would we have got from you like killing him and standing over him full of fury to us then being composed enough to want to carry
Well,
his
to be
body
fair,
down
at the point of the murder, the
I
fury
think the
subsided,
fury,
right?
So I think from my point of view, so the fury and the kind of the sense I needed for sort of like retribution almost had like faded. So it was very much a sort of surgical, just get it over and done with. You know, it's not a Lictu anymore. So, you know, and obviously they are, you know, a danger to literally he's now a danger to literally everybody. So yeah.
I feel like in that moment, Gesh and Enoch really listened to each other and really communicated really well before, obviously, because initially you were going to go and you were just going to fucking slash the fuck out of him. But we sort of confronted each other really well.
You did definitely convince me.
You know, and so yeah, I think, yeah, certainly a feeling of it was the right thing to do what happened, but still it having happened altogether is just completely out of this world, you know.
So maybe shall I say, as you've kind of laid these bodies out, Enoch, how are you interacting with, like, what are you doing at the moment in terms of your interaction with Tide and Elliptu's corpse?
I'd say it was sort of just a stony, just dead of silence is kind of descended over the camp as we're kind of just sort of just, you know, Dawn's in his black hole.
I'm out.
Well, it's he's out.
You're out of it now. Okay,
It's
sorry.
just a gentle shade being cast over my face.
Okay. Mood lighting. Okay. So a stony death has descended over the camp, and I think that none of us are really saying anything. We're both. Well, I'm just sort of staring at Tide, just thinking about how how my life will be different. You know, like forevermore. But also recognizing the connection that me and Gesh have had, and I say to Gesh, we did what we had to do. Might not have been easy, but it was the right thing to do. Thank you, Gesh. Thank you for talking me into not doing something that I would have regretted.
Yes, something that could have been incredibly undignifying for Elliptu's corpse was narrowly avoided, and so I'm glad that you listened to me. This pain is really overwhelming for me as well. Yeah.
I would say at this moment, you guys noticed that Dorwin has gone over to the Alvin's body with an air of curiosity and trepidation. I was speaking on your behalf here, but you've learned from your time avoiding dangers throughout your whole life that because you've had close brushes like this before and allies you've made before you've see similar tragic fates, and you often know that it's best to a logical part of your brain kicks in where you realise you kind of need to learn from these things, and you approach the Alhoon. Do you see it kind of quivering there?
So just to paint a picture, can we say that he's got an arrow sticking out of his head?
Of course, yeah. And as you approach this creature, which is it looks not hugely different to when it was alive, given that it was already an undead creature, and you notice
apart from the arrow sticking out of it.
There you go. A mossy statue.
And you kind of like work up the courage as this corpse is still kind of like twitching every once in a while. You kind of approach and like sort of open up a section of his robe and find this small journal which is quite slimy, It's surprisingly heavy given how thin and neat it is. There's no real markings on it or anything, and your sort of arcane curiosity kicks in, and as you flick open the page and see what's on the page, you're suddenly struck with this overwhelming sense of kind of abhorrent dread. Can you make a wisdom and a constitution saving throw, please?
Wisdom save is 20 regular and con is 14.
Okay. Nice. So what was the first one?
20, but not
20. Okay. Can you give me a D100, please?
Do I have to?
He's dead and he's still going to hurt us.
God, can you imagine if Dorwin goes as well?
21.
So you find yourself as the symbols on this page are completely alien. It's like they're from an entirely different dimension. They're completely unfathomable, and you're overcome with these sort of eldritchian images in your mind. You're able to kind of like bat most of them away, but you suddenly find yourself kind of uncontrollably laughing, and you find that. So I mean, you guys can approach this how you want.
Is that
You find-
incredibly disconcerting for the two of us?
Yeah, it's kind of like a bit of a cackle, and it kind of like falls into sobs, and then back into laughs, and you're kind of like this for a while, and you've managed, and like through it after a couple of minutes, or you know, you're finally able to like kind of close this book, and you kind of cast it down onto the ground, and you're just kind of there, like, sort of gently weeping for a moment, and I'd say at this point maybe you guys have like heard and seen this.
Yeah.
And what was your reactions?
I think hearing a commotion by the Alhoon, I'm up.
straight
If there
up.
is anyone that I am gonna fuck up, it is the Alhoon. So I'm up and like coming to Dorwin's side.
Sure. So you run over to him and you see he's kind of on the floor, like slightly fearful of this book, but also you've still got this. I'd imagine you probably still have this curiosity in you too. So yeah, how what would you do as you see him there, kind of like very, very shaky and disconcerted?
I'd say, Dorwin, what happened? What did you touch? That book?
Am I like?
You can
Composed.
talk through like you're like shaken and
Sure.
bit suddenly.
Yeah, I'd be like, not you too.
I don't know. I looked at the book. I shouldn't have. It's a horrible book. Don't look.
Okay, and with that, I take off my cloak and throw it down like over the book.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure.
Just to, you know.
Yeah, you find that breaking line of sight is comforting.
Sure.
And yeah, you I mean, how does Dorwin internally at the moment feel about this book?
Well, I'm still pretty shook from the thing. Already a little bit scared of all this deadly evil around.
So what is Eldridgian? You said
Eldritch is so H.P. Lovecraft kind of coined this term, you know, like Cthulhu and like demonic aberrations from other worlds that are like unfathomable to a person.
Right.
I'm probably scared that this thing has somehow done something to me from beyond the grave. Worried that although we've killed him, there's some magical power inside him or connected to him that we haven't addressed. Probably a little bit guilty about activating this evil shit after everything that's just happened, but mostly just wanting to get away from this whole area, and especially that book and that guy.
Can I say as well, like, we're seeing that he's sort of kind of clambering and trying to get away, almost, but obviously on the ground, without obviously being totally ignorant to magic. Gesh will just try and grab him, and while he's pulling him away, just try and cast Cure Wounds on him.
Yeah,
So,
nice. That's a great idea.
Um,
Do you want to do the dice rolls?
Yeah,
Let's see
cool.
what it does.
I do need HP to be fair.
and then I'll do it second level. So 7.
Maybe roleplay it so that you don't get HP
like
and get
deliver
cured of
a
the
brief,
condition.
a brief kind of message with the cure wounds as you do.
Yeah, well, so
Choose all my moves.
I'm just for roleplay for roleplay. Can I just say that I'm dragging him while I'm doing it? So yeah,
Like half embrace, half.
Yeah, sort of like I've got my arms I've got say one sort of round your waist and one across your chest, and I'm sort of like trying to pull you back. And as I do, I'm casting cure wounds, and I sort of hold you really close and pull you back, and just basically just say, we're not going to lose you too, and you get 7 health.
Nice, thank you.
Yeah, you feel this kind of radiating warmth and positive message, and you find it really does aid with your turmoil.
Okay, nice. Thank you, Gesh. I'm not sure what that was, but you've definitely helped.
It's okay. Let's get through this.
At this point as well, this is probably a point as his robes been opened and this book revealed. You see, I imagine you're kind of looking at the Alhoon with rage and tell me how you feel.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm probably going to. I'm going to storm over and pick up Elliptu's cleaver from his body and walk over and just calmly, because it's still twitching, just calmly just decapitate it.
Yeah.
So you
find you kind of slice through its tentacles as you do. This kind of this like quite necrosis, gangrenous smell kind of emanates. But you see that the twitching like continues for a second, and then just they fall incredibly still.
And I'm going to reach out with my sort of psionic mind and see if I can like feel any presence of it left.
Sure. Yeah. Why don't
Will,
yeah.
Can you zoom in a little bit on that?
I'd say
Because he could
angle it.
sense me, so it's
Like,
natural that I would be able to maybe
Level
sense
it,
him.
you know.
Or is
I
that
would
a
say-
specific ability?
No, I'll role play purposes.
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
I'll say
If you
that
tap
as
the
you
screen, maybe?
reach out, you the
3,
second you make contact,
7, 9.
you are flooded with
0, 0.
You're flooded with like it seems like hundreds of flashbacks of many different people's lives. Kind of like rapidly flash through you just as the decapitation's taking place.
Okay.
And then it finally settles for like a slightly longer, or it feels longer to you, it's probably the
Yeah.
same length as the other ones, but you suddenly have like a rush of some of Tide's different memories, a lot of the ones associated with you, and then suddenly it just kind of like fades to nothing, like quite sharply.
Okay. And you see like a proper tear roll down my cheek as I just
hits you
as
sort of,
as like the feels that's a big hit of the emotion of Tide all in one go.
So I feel like maybe after that, particularly suddenly it's sadness that comes out after all the
You've just described
suddenly with
what
the decapitation and everything.
happened.
And you're processing a bit, the fury and rage has kind of just turned into sadness now. You, as you're stood there allowing these feelings to wash over you, your eyes catch on this weapon, the weapon that you don't necessarily know how Tide went, but you would assume that it was a weapon associated with her death. I mean, would you reach out for it? Would you want to?
Yeah. So as I decapitate the Alhoon, there goes like one last like twitch, and as it does, it rolls over and like its robes open a little bit, and I just see like the glint of like a sort of icy blue and gold dick.
No, he's laughing at me because I said something stupid.
Like hilt of the sword. Pommel of the sword, I guess. I don't really think that even Enoch would be like that. He'd definitely clock it for later, but wouldn't necessarily be that bothered about it. Having sort of he is feeling the feelings he's feeling.
It's not a priority.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nice.
So yeah, can I just say I haven't noticed the sword, but after making sure that has Dorwin sort of stopped twitching as much now? Is he?
Yeah,
more
he seems.
composed?
He's kind of like collected himself. He's now.
Yeah. And I basically I turn to both of them like with just a pure fucking foul malice in my eyes, and I'm just like, we must burn these remains, just because as as it was and may still be undead, despite now not having its head, it may very well find a way to return. And I'm obviously not just going to go ahead and do it in case anybody wants to do anything, but
without looking up, I just say, burn the remains if you want, Gesh, but he won't return. I just witnessed the final death of its soul.
We have to. I think we should get rid of the book. I don't want it hurting anyone else. It's filled with dark ancient magic. It must be gone from this world.
That's we must, without finding a way, go on.
Can I say that I'm a little bit curious about the book, more so even than the sword, potentially, because there's this, and I've never experienced anyone that could communicate with me through my mind before. I've always been the one talking about it. So to have encountered another being with my kind of gift is extremely, bizarre for me.
Are we going to have a Pippin moment?
Am I going to look into the Palantir?
Let me just say basically what happened. As Enoch decapitated the Alhoon, it flashed through all the memories of basically, we're assuming, the people that it's killed, and then ended with some really vivid memories of Tide, and her memories of Enoch as well. So
okay,
I
yeah.
just said that earlier, couldn't I?
Are you? So yeah. I mean, it's up to Enoch. What's he doing? Is he taking a peek at the book, or is he going to leave it? Heed Dorwin's warning.
Dorwin, the book can wait. Let's wrap it up. Out of sight, out of mind. And take it back with us. We'll make a decision about it when we're less in the moment.
Enoch, I saw into the magic in that book. There's nothing good that can come of it. I can't stop you, but only pain awaits us inside there.
Burn it, I vote. I can't lose you two, Enoch.
Well then, if it's the will of the party, just don't burn my cloak.
You better grab it then.
Yeah, do you want to grab your cloak and you summon a torrent of flame?
Yeah.
Are we burning Enoch and Tide as well?
I'm not sure. I think this is just the book for now.
No, just the Alhoon and the
I'm not
book,
burning
yeah.
Tide.
Okay, you just mentioned the cloak.
Oh, as in you put
As
the
in,
cloak over the
I
book.
put my cloak over the
sorry,
book.
I thought you meant the.
I'll say you go over and you remove the you pull the cloak away. Dorwin, you avert your eyes. Just as you do, Gesh, you unleash this torrent of flame, which kind of
go on.
encompasses all of this hurt that you've just experienced. And this
Dragos is with me doing it too.
Dragos, and you find that his is flame in this instance.
I would say that his flame is actually somewhat more powerful than mine.
Yeah. You find that it's you've seen Gesh use fire breath before. Normally it's kind of like an open torrent of flame. This is like a powerful jet, just completely engulfs the book, and you see it burns and burns as it does.
I'm just gonna say Dragos's fire breath has sort of flashes of electricity in it too, but they join together and create this even larger sort of jet of flame.
You all, as it burns, you're all kind of you have this wave of this aberrant horror kind of wash over you. It's kind of it feels it almost feels like a temporary madness as it's burning. And you will go slightly wild behind the eyes for a moment. As this book is burning, you see that the flame around it just immediately becomes a bright purple and just grows and grows. Once you're doing this flame for a good 25 seconds or so, a long period of flame, and then you finally as your teeth are burnt like white hot coals in your mouth. You close your mouth and there's a hiss that burns the inside of your mouth. The book is just kind of left into it's just a pile of ash, which is just smouldering with these little purple flames kind of wisping off it, but the book appears to be no more.
And the Alhoon?
Are we burning the Alhoon too?
Maybe in the.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I thought you were focusing on the book.
Yeah.
The Alhoon at this point is just flesh, so it totally would have gone up. Yeah.
Maybe he focused in on the book, and then when he went wild behind the eyes, he just like went like that and like torched the Alhoon as well.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
And then we could say that the Alhoon's completely sort of just ash on the ground, and now there's just ash and this like pure blue sword,
Which is completely unsinged. It doesn't have a single blemish on it.
And before this has necessarily been noticed, like Gesh has obviously expended this huge breath, and then takes another deep breath in, and then just roars at the Alhoon and says, "It is you that's been returned to ash."
Nice. Yeah. Very cool. Yeah. Well done. Okay. So on this pile of ash, there's this beautiful unharmed weapon. I'd say maybe perhaps the scabbard has been completely burnt away, and there's this
Just the blade.
Now you can see it in its full glory. There's this blade which at first glance almost looks like it's made of like metallic ice. It's got a very, very dull glow about it, and you see that even with this massive amount of flame passed over it, it's kind of giving off that like condensation, wisps of cold air are kind of emanating off it now the blade's exposed. As well, like the ash around it, any moisture that's left in it has like kind of made a bit of like an icy aura around the blade itself as well.
Neat.
Sick. How do you react to this blade?
So
Just say that
you
noticed it first.
what did I do? Well, I was like standing in front of the Alhoon and kind of was like stepping back to see as it got immolated, and then just left sort of standing over this like perfect blue weapon, and I sort of slowly bend down and pick it up.
You find that you pick it up by the by like the hilt, and then you're holding the blade with the other hand, and you find that your hands are like your fingers like immediately kind of like slightly frostbitten and numb with cold, and you kind of like retract your hand for a moment, and you're kind of holding this sword in front of you. It kind of goes straight for a moment before bending slightly. It's like a scimitar sort of shape. Would you like to describe like the hilt and pommel and stuff? Because if you have an idea for that.
I think it's got like the hilt is like a blue dragon like roaring, and the guard is its bottom teeth, and the base of the tip of the shaft is like a sort of a gilded blue dragon head, and there's like a sort of gold filigree like laced around it to like mimic like the dragon scales.
Very
Sick.
So it looks like you're holding like the open mouth of the dragon.
Yeah, very cool. All right,
Sick.
nice. So you look around, and you see the corpses of your companions, and I imagine at this point, as you look around these dreary, destroyed drow buildings in this completely lifeless ghost town, and with the Alhoon and the threat gone, and there's just these few pustulating brains dotted around the place with these sinuous legs, all laying completely limp. You suddenly realise in this peace that you want nothing more than to leave this foul, wretched place. What's your guys' plan with the? Because I know you were saying that you're not be keen to do something with Tide and
can I just say that with now the danger has been sort of everything all settled. I feel that Gesh would just feel incredibly overwhelmed by the real emotion and sadness of what's happened, that I would take my cloak off and put them gently over both the bodies, just because it's just too painful to see our dead companions, But other than, I don't know what you want to do from here, because
maybe make a plan in character or something.
I think they both deserve a proper burial.
Agreed. We're not burying them in this foul cavern to be one with the mushrooms. They'll not contribute to this festering place.
I know that Tide would certainly wish to be returned to above ground. However, with Elictu, do you think, Dorwin, that Elictu would want to be, his body would want to be returned to the Underdark?
Yes, I imagine so. Most.
I know he
As
had.
a little idea that might pop into your head, you do obviously know that there is this statue of Segajan nearby, which might be relevant for it. Might be nice for you and Elictu, perhaps.
Although he never spoke much of his history with his family, I know that pain only awaited him at home, so maybe not taking him back to where he
Yes,
grew up.
our hometown is quite far, and Elictu had very little ties left there that he would have honoured. I think we should find an appropriate resting place in these caves. At least then he'll feel a bit more at home.
I myself am going above ground and floating Tide's body into the Condomek. That way she'll make her way to the ocean and be at one with the water.
I sort of just nod agreement.
Yeah.
Obviously,
You
these
go-
two guys have far more history with each of the two, of the two characters individually. So I'm just willing to go along with whatever is decided.
As you guys head back over to the bodies to start thinking about what you're going to do with them more thoroughly, you notice that stood calmly watching over over Tide is Corvax, who's kind of stood there solemnly and lying down a foot away or so from Elictu's corpse. Fasha's just laying down, seemingly entirely at peace for the first time, not desiring to feast.
I thought you meant like, oh thank God, I'm free. Cry.
So yeah, how are you guys going to go about this then?
Well, Gesh, I'm sure you can carry Elictu. He doesn't weigh very much.
Could we load up Dragos with Tide?
Certainly, maybe the Honourable Thrasher would want to carry his master.
I'm sure he'd be honoured.
Maybe I'd be happy to say that maybe looking around in some of these drow buildings and stuff, you're able to find some sheets or something that you could wrap them in or something
Sure.
to keep them together.
Yeah.
Could we
Some
maybe
sheets.
try and spend a bit of time trying to repair one of these wagons that's broken in the town, or are they completely fucked? 'Cause you said there was a few of them that were upturned.
Yeah, I'd say that if you sort of spend a day or so, you could probably put a wagon together, and then I'm sure Dragos could probably pull a wagon.
What do you think?
Well, the sight of seeing your mighty dragon pull a wagon certainly appeals to me, yes. You go and load one up.
Well, we
And you see that's the first time that my voice is just started to crack back, and then I sort of remember where we are and what we're doing.
Okay, in that case, why don't you guys?
Now is not the time for jest, Enoch. Help me repair one of these wagons.
Can you two both make survival checks, and Dorwin, can you make an Arcana check, please?
Can we do it with advantage?
Yeah,
Yeah.
both do it with advantage. Yeah.
Survival, did you say?
Yeah, do survival. Yeah.
I got 26 on my Arcana.
26, nice.
I got 11.
Sure, that's fine.
I got 16.
Okay, nice. Yeah, I'd say between you spending the day, Dorwin using various magics to aid where he can, and you two scavenging bits, and you also finding bits and bobs. You're able to kind of get a wagon which is slightly wonky but functional. One of the more basic ones, and you're able to respectfully put the corpses in.
Yeah. I say while we're spending the day sort of trying to collect materials from around the town to repair the wagon, Gesh has a moment of sort of losing control and near when we're near one of the, what are they called, the little walking brains? What are they called? The
Intellect devourers.
That's it, intellect devourers. He sort of like sees one out the corner of his eye, sees the one that penetrated.
Oh, he's gone.
Oh, did it just?
It disappeared.
Oh, it just go. Okay. Seeing one of the intellect devourers nearby, well, I just sort of roar and I run over and I fucking kick it and boot it like 30 feet like across the fucking market square.
Aragorn style.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Literally. That's what I was thinking. Yeah, and just fall to the ground and just roar, you know, and makes all the fucking buildings shake with my sort of dragon breath.
Can you also give me a? Can you give me another survival check, just a normal one, please?
11.
Okay. Sure. Yeah. I was.
Was that to see if the intellect devourer did something to him?
Oh, actually.
Oh fuck.
Do the same roll with a. Sorry, I should have done. Somehow it didn't make any sense there. What was the dice roll you got?
11.
Oh, just a flat 11.
No.
What was the dice roll?
Oh,
That one?
5.
5. Okay, yeah, never mind then. Yeah, okay, sure. I was going to see if you were able to find any enchanted water here, but no luck with that.
I wouldn't be looking for it.
No, but it was to decide whether you stumble across it or not.
Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't that you were searching for it.
Okay.
I should have done a perception instead, but I don't think it would have changed much. Okay, yeah, nice. So you guys, after a while, you know, you maybe have something to eat if you can stomach it, and begin making your way, you know, back the way you came, essentially.
I'm just picturing having Dragos and Thrasher next to each other pulling this wagon. It would be so funny. Like they both got like harnesses and shit on. Like
Thrasher's just
Dragos is
held
literally
in the air.
3 times the size.
Walking in the air. Dragos just pulls the whole thing.
Yeah.
Is Thrasher choosing to stay with us now? Does that mean we've tamed him?
No, you haven't tamed him,
But he's just choosing to stay with us.
Well, we've got to lick to his body.
With my
Fine.
body.
Oh right, okay, he's gonna.
Certainly for now.
Yeah, so
I tried to ride him.
No, mate, I'll fuck riding him.
Animal handling.
Meat's back on the menu, boy.
you guys spend the next day traveling along the path, initially making your way to the are you wanting to go to Segajan's thing? Do you want to do that? Or do you want to do something
May as well.
else? So yeah,
This is the mossy statue.
within the first day, you're able to make your way into the.
Remind me, was that was the town there? Was it?
Yes, yeah. So that was here. You're able to like make your way about here into the mushroom forest, where you're able to find a clearing off the path away from any nasties, you spend your first night there, and then over the next 2 days you find that
No more tiny huts.
yeah. Oh yeah. I like this play.
It's a legit a Gesh emotion.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've got to go back to. I say maybe you're able to salvage some tarps and things from this settlement, so you're having to like make basic camps again. So you find that your journey through the mushroom forest, you're often having to like spend 10-20 minutes off the path as you hear unnerving noises nearby, and having to pause and be as vigilant as possible. I imagine wanting to avoid any risk of these bodies being lost.
Yeah,
Do you get any exhaustion points from being camping out with just the tarps that we've scavenged or anything?
I wouldn't say no. It's
Okay.
only been it's only been a couple of days.
Sure.
So
I was going to say I wanted to cast Pass Without Trace, but it only lasts for an hour, so maybe as we approach that, got to skirt around the edge of that dangerous village.
Yeah, which is
I'll
marked on your map.
Certainly do that.
Yeah, and so after another 2 days of travel or so, you're able to make it to Segajan's statue. You find that there's no communication waiting for you or anything. But you
we had long rests. Are you alright with us having full long rests?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
When you get to the statue, you kind of have this. It's kind of like it seems like it's sort of watching what you're doing from a distance, and it definitely has this slight presence about it. That's kind of it adds something nice. You feel like you've got a witness to this burial, and you begin. I mean, I imagine Dorwin with Move Earth can probably just fucking summon a grave, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah. So you go nearby and excavate this thing, and you guys take Elictu's body wrapped up and lower it into this grave. Does anyone want to say or do anything?
I would say that the two of you. Well, obviously we're not burying Tide here, are we?
Yeah. So I think on the way in the journey, and through like packaging up Elictu in the sheets for his burial. I think we'll have removed his like armor and his cloak and put that onto one side.
And his ring.
and the one ring.
Yeah, I'll say, Elictu, I'm sorry we couldn't finish our adventures. I thank you for everything you've given me. I hope in death you can find the peace you sought. And can I stick his cleaver above the grave?
Yeah, nice. It's like a headstone.
Use my dagger to just carve Elictu into the base of it.
In deep gnome or something.
Yeah,
Really nice. Yeah.
Can I just say, it's really weird being at your own funeral. This is so weird. I'm quite on right now.
I asked who are you talking to?
Yeah, nice. Yeah, very nice. Okay. And with that, you have to spend another few days travel.
Oh, I was just going to say, like, during the funeral as well, after, Gesh will have been stood, probably a good 20-30 feet back from the sort of ceremony that Dorwin will have done for Elictu, and then I sort of approach and will just sort of bow my head and just say, "Rest easy, brother," and then turn and walk away, sort of, and make a point of not looking back and trying to put it behind me emotionally.
Nice. Yeah. So you guys, with that, with this cart loaded up, are able to, with the same sort of techniques you were using to navigate the forest prior, going back through it, going around.
Dragos is loving it now. He's got one less body to carry.
Yeah. You're able to navigate your way out and back out through the cave, and you go back to kind of more familiar cave-like setting as it gets gradually less mushroomy. And you find that initially the light that you can see at the end of the cave is just extremely blinding, even though it's so far in the distance. And as you get close, you find that it's even by the time you get to the actual entrance of the cave itself, even by then your eyes haven't fully adjusted, even though you've had a bit of time in the light, and it's quite like it's a lot to deal with as you step out into this world, and you're suddenly hit with this fresh air as this sort of this like fungal spory aroma is now completely washed away, and I'm sure that you're all very pleased to take in some deep breaths. Maybe not so much Dorwin.
As we get up, I'm like,
yeah.
I sort of don't say it very loudly, but I mutter it under my breath and say, "I like it here."
You see that as you approach as well, Dragos, like back still with the cart on his back, is like kind of like stretching his wings out, and you can tell there's a part of him that wants to take flight.
Yeah, well, I see this, and I sort of undo the buckles and take off the harness and sort of give him a nudge and let him go and fly just for 10-15 minutes or whatever.
Thrasher pulling the cart like 6 inches.
And Dragos like scowls at him as he's like flying off.
Yeah, you find Dragos like initially kind of looks back at you hesitantly for a second before snapping his
and
head forward.
I'll go sort of throw my arm in the air to gesture that it's okay.
And you see that he just kind of like leaps forward, and with a huge beat of his wings just is immediately like 30 feet up in the air. And then before long he's riding on currents. And you see that this is a moment for Dragos as he kind of feels everything that you feel as well. And he just kind of lets it all out in this roar that just sounds like crackling thunder, like in the distance by this point. And you leave him for a little while. Maybe you guys decide to like make camp here near the entrance, even though it's probably afternoon. Just a chance to kind of enjoy your time out of the cave for a little bit.
Conveniently, this little bit of the path is now slightly downhill, so it's much easier for Thrasher to pull the cart.
Just getting rolled.
Yeah.
Just on his face, sliding through the dirt.
Just acting as a brake.
Yeah, nice. So I'll do regular D&D music for a little bit. Yeah, nice. So you guys are out. I'd say as well. So based on where you are in the, I'd say not supposed to play this again.
Sorry, this literally just reminds me of like
doing combat in Oblivion.
Being in Oblivion, yeah, and you're like in combat and then they're dead and it all of a sudden snaps back to really nice music.
Or like when you're sneaking and you accidentally get caught and you like run away and sneak, it's like dun 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 dun.
Yeah.
Just for like 2 seconds, you're like, fuck.
So
oh, we must be safe. Everything must be fine.
Gesh at this point would probably inform Enoch that there's that the lakes around here, some of them feed into the Kondanak and some of them lead down the rivers through the Drakefitten crests into Greymire Lake as well.
Can we? Do you know on the map where the Kondanak is? I mean, I know you do. Do you know where it is? Oh, it's north, is it? Okay. Okay, cool.
It runs roughly east to west.
Okay, it's north of us.
Yeah.
Is it in the scales?
So actually,
Just north of the edge of the scales.
the Kondanak also something. I mean, you guys would probably just know this is sort of common knowledge, but the Kondanak actually is kind of like it's a bit of a natural phenomena because it flows from the Umala coast through this way, and then basically
Where's the Umala coast?
A bit
around
far
here.
west.
Oh, okay.
So the Kondanak.
Oh yeah, I see.
The Kondanak actually flows through this into Turtle Lake, and then goes this way and deposits out there. And so it's not actually, it doesn't flow the way like a natural river.
Yeah.
It's like it's like, I mean, you wouldn't exactly know its origin, but it flows somewhat magically, and it actually passes through these dwarven canals, which pass through the mountains at the bottom of the mountains, before eventually going into the sea in the north. So yeah, you'd have to travel further north to like guarantee that that's going into Eastbourne, but or you can also send her into this ultra mega giga lake. They're both, it's like the size of the country. So what would Enoch?
I'm gonna shoot off.
Sure.
See
you later.
Yeah. Enoch would want to put her into the Kondanak because it's the
right thing to do.
Yeah, because it's the way to get her to the sea.
Sure. So when you guys are looking at the map, you would say that maybe if you travelled for about a week towards Clockager, you could pretty much guarantee that you'd be able to find a body of water near one of these dwarven settlements which would feed into the Kondanak.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't know about you, but I want to sleep in a bed at this point. Enoch does. So, the fact that we're going near Clockajaw is secretly just a big added bonus for Enoch.
Yeah, I'll say the travel. Can the three of you each make Constitution saving throws? And you want to get higher than a 10 here.
Just the one? Yeah, nice.
4.
19.
21, not on that 20.
Okay, so Dor, when you found that the journey and the emotional weight of all of this as you've been passing through the caverns, you've got a point of exhaustion basically as you leave the caverns.
Can I mark that on my sheet? Do you know?
Yeah, it's add conditions.
Well,
And
don't
then scroll down to the bottom.
Don't do that.
And then put 1 point in the job.
Don't do it. No, because it uses a different mechanic, so that will it will fuck with all your skills and stuff. So just do it on a note somewhere, on your note page or something.
How's your homebrew different from that?
Well, it's not. It's the D&D 1 mechanic, which
Right.
isn't implemented yet. But basically, that will having 1 point of exhaustion in the old rules is you get disadvantage on everything.
Okay.
But this one is you just have -1 to all your rolls,
Okay.
and it's cumulative, so you can have like 5 points of exhaustion, for example.
I get disadvantage on my ability checks at level 1 here.
Yes, you don't select that one.
Okay.
Yeah. Just make a note somewhere. It goes away after a decent long rest anyway.
Sure.
Is there no way that with the scales now being a favoured terrain of Gesh's that I could make the journey easier for Dorwin?
Yeah, for sure.
Like, say for example, using Dragos to pull the cart again and offering that Dorwin rest in the cart while we travel.
Yeah, I would say that perhaps while you guys are doing that, perhaps Dorwin's like using little bits of magic and stuff to keep Tide's body from like deteriorating too much and things, just with prestidigitation, keeping any nasties off and that kind of thing.
Maybe you've like laid Frostbrand over her to like keep her cool.
That's a cool idea.
Yeah, nice.
The exhaustion doesn't actually change anything on the page. It just like
It just lets you know.
Yeah, it's just
okay, yeah,
marked, so
fine. Use
we
that
can
then.
use it.
Yeah. So I mean, I'd say your journey up to Glockadur is appropriately quiet in terms of things you encounter. There's like it's almost like the solemnness of the situation is kind of like radiating into the surrounding area in a way. So it's,
Have we been into Clockadur?
you've been to Glockadur before. It's the arcane watchtower.
Oh yeah.
Perhaps about a few miles out of Glockadur, perhaps after you guys like set up for a little bit before getting there and talking through plans and stuff, you are able to like through Korvax and Dragos combined are able to like locate this mountain plateau which has a large sort of icy lake on it, and to convey to you, you make the journey up that direction, you're kind of at the stony pebbly shore of this large lake. The sun is kind of gently blowing down, and there's a few white fluffy clouds floating around in the sky. In the distance, far to the south, you can see that there appears to be a bit of a storm brewing, but it's probably not going to come your direction anytime soon.
And the river flows sort of northwest out of the lake. Is that right? Out to the west of the scales.
So there's like a few different streams, and they kind of all go. All of these small streams, which you imagine will eventually coalesce into larger rivers, all are flowing in a westerly direction. Yeah.
Okay.
So Enoch, do you want to take the reins?
So I think arriving at this lake, Enoch's just going to spend like maybe an hour just gathering some firewood, and can he see if he can lash together a simple raft?
Yeah, I'd say like with people's help and stuff, you can just sort of do that.
Sure.
Be ashamed to fail a check now and then.
Yeah, I would.
Especially when there's no time pressure.
Yeah. So he's going to build maybe him and Gash and Dawn are going to lash together a raft. We're going to lay the firewood as like a bed around Tide, lay Tide's body on the top, and maybe Gesh and Enoch like wade out into the water to push Tide out. It's like you need to push it out a certain extent so it actually floats away, and maybe like it's getting like a bit too deep for me, and I say like, I'm gonna have to turn back. I can't go any further. Gesh, would you please ensure that Tide's body gets to the Condomac?
I am a weak swimmer, but I can certainly.
Oh, it'd be fine for you. It's just because I'm small.
Just because you're smaller than
Yeah.
me. Yeah. But I will do what needs to be done. And with that, I'll sort of try and increase the momentum that we've created from pushing the raft, and then just sort of.
I'll say that maybe
one sort of final push.
Maybe like as you're going, you're kind of like very kind of like calmly like lighting the pile like with his breath perhaps. So as you're pushing, you're kind of like with your exhales of effort, you're kind of like allowing embers to kind of pass through into the kindling.
I didn't realise we were going to burn the body, but
Yeah,
Set
yeah.
the ashes down.
Okay, cool. Yeah, cool.
Um,
Yeah, well, that works really well. Yeah.
You see that from the shore, as the flames begin to engulf Tide, you see that her body, as it burns, instead of turning to ash, is actually just kind of from within the fire. You just see like this sort of like steamy water just kind of like pouring out from within the fire, kind of dampening the flame slightly. Would Enoch like to say or do anything?
So at this point, we're sort of sitting on the shore, maybe with a fire going.
Can you still see?
Yeah, you can still see maybe the smoke trail of of where the pyre is going, and maybe we just sat, maybe just reminiscing about Tide now. It's it's been a week. We're slightly over the worst of it, so you can maybe like start to think about
Just composed.
talking in Tide's memories and stuff like that.
Yeah, very nice. Remember the old big hit we did, Tide? Yeah, very nice. Okay.
Wasn't that tentacle time fun?
And Enoch's gonna try and Enoch's gonna try and hunt for some food, animal food and you see Enoch's been passing around his hip flask of his finest vintage, which is almost out, and it's like the last kind of
drams.
a few little drams. We got.
It might be nice to say. It might be interesting to say that as you go off to hunt, maybe Gesh, you do. Sorry, I'm just like.
Go on.
But maybe you do your locate beasts and tell Enoch where to go, sort of thing, and say if you want to strike us a fine meal, heady stead or something. Yeah, okay, cool.
Is there any kind of in your universe? Is there any kind of like a dire deer or anything like that?
Yeah.
Fucking henny bit of venison.
There are, so they'd mostly be in woodland, but there's dire goat around here.
Okay, yeah. Well then we.
But I would say that from Gesh's perspective, it would be like a little bit slaying the dire animals is like a bit of like a.
It's quite a big thing.
It's not necessarily it's a big thing. It's just that it's like they're very majestic beasts.
Oh, okay, right.
You might have a bit more respect for it. Like a tribe would hunt them.
So what sort of animal would we want to be?
I'll just go for some rabbits.
Yeah.
Oh,
that makes
okay.
sense for Enoch.
Yeah.
Sort of thing that he would like to eat. So
I'll just fucking go for some.
Maybe you go and you're able to locate a couple of mountain hares and that kind of thing. And
can I just say, while he's away, feeling uncomfortable in water, Gesh feeling very uncomfortable in water, and wading out and pushing the pyre out to the lake. Gesh has a feeling of it being like a bit of a mental challenge that he wants to overcome his fear of water. So while we have a moment of calm, I would assume that Dawn would be poring over his books around the fire, and Enoch is off hunting rabbits and stuff. Can I try fishing?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Completely cluelessly.
Yeah,
But
I'd say
out
you
of
go.
simply being scared of being in the water, I want to try and overcome it, and so that's part of.
So I would say that Dorwin, as you're pouring over your books, you kind of look up and you see Gesh quite energetically just stripping off. So taking his clothes off, ready to so he's kind of slightly shaky and keen.
Psyching myself up for a fight.
Yeah. So can you start off by doing can you start off by doing a wisdom saving throw, please?
Okay.
It's not going to affect whether you do it.
Oh, come on, that one.
That one. Okay, so I'm going to say that you are as you approach the water's edge, you are literally overwhelmed with your fear of water, and I say with that, why don't you give me a Constitution and see if you can muscle through it,
Okay.
or whether it's too much to bear at the moment.
19.
19. Okay. So, I mean, yeah. So, what do you think?
Yeah, I think I would still try and do it, but would be incredibly like.
I'll tell you what. Maybe you go to the edge and like you're stood there and you're like breathing really heavily, like embers are coming out of your nose, and like you've got like shaky legs as you're like approaching the water's edge, and then maybe Dragos just comes up and just bashes you into the lake.
Yeah, and I slip and I stumble and I just fall flat head first. Like the water's only like this deep. I'm
Yeah.
absolutely fine.
Yeah.
But then immediately I just get up and I'm completely terrified.
Yeah. And then Dragos as you do that, like Dragos just like runs into the water, being splashing around, like trying to catch fish in the lake, like diving his head in and stuff.
Oh, okay, and that's sort of certainly seeing him doing that eases the fear. Almost instantly turns into sort of like a playful sort of, not quite joy, but like a silliness, you know.
You see, like as
and then I run over and I fucking tackle him into the water, and me and him have a little play fight like in the shallows.
Yeah, lovely. Yeah, sure. I'll say after a little bit of play fighting, you're a bit more chill. Give me 2 survival checks, please. No, actually, give me one survival and 1 athletics.
Okay, so do you want the first survival then?
Yeah, go on.
Because the first survival was an 8.
Okay.
And then an athletics
It's very honest of you.
was a 14.
Okay. So you find that like actually locating fish is quite hard because you're being louder than you would if you were on the land, a lot louder than you would if you're on the land. And you find that like you go in with like pretty good speed, like trying to grab them and stuff, and you do grab a few, but they tend to wiggle out of your hands. And after a little while, you're getting a bit frustrated as they're all eluding you, I'm afraid.
Yeah, fair enough.
But you've given it a good go.
I've spent a good hour, maybe an hour and a half trying to catch these fish, but just to
Like a bear during mating season for salmon.
yeah, just to absolutely no avail. More like a Labrador in a lake trying to catch little tiny little fish or something like that, and sort of trying to catch them, but having no luck whatsoever.
You see that every once in a while you look over and you see Dragos will like have his head like further in the lake, like swimming around, his like wings like pushing him along through the water. You see that he'll like dive down and come up with a big fish in his mouth, and you like communicate mentally with him like, oh, that's good, let's eat it, and every time he just swallows them down. Nice. Okay. Yeah, what's Doran up to, just out of interest? Is he just
By this lake,
yeah.
don't know. Probably just sad about tide. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe like writing down some of the stories she told me in the hopes that one day they'll live on somewhere.
Yeah, nice. Yeah. Maybe occasionally like writing and then like plucking a lute string and then writing again.
Could we say that when Enoch returns, I'm not going to speak on what you return with, but when he returns and we're finally sort of, our immediate tasks have now been completed with the proper sort of burial and cremation of our companions, I sort of turn to Enoch especially and I say, Tide's songs, they must live on in taverns that you visit. On your travels to come, you must sing her praises far and wide to the world. Flute the lute must be remembered.
Sadly, I do not have the skill that Tide possessed. There are few people that do.
Can I say that like maybe around the campfire like as well, like you all have a few drinks and can all 3 of you give me performance checks?
Oh, 20, not that 20, but I got 20.
Should I just roll this dice for you or should I join it?
I'm 2 seconds.
Sure, yeah.
Enoch, I have no intention of you playing the songs, but you must speak of them the way you are good.
16.
9.
So in a joyful but painful cacophony of singing, you will belt out some of the tavern songs that she would always sing that have kind of like stuck in your memory. As you will finish off the last of this fine alcohol, this fine whiskey,
And these like hairs that we've had.
yeah, you're kind of feasting away, and
Dorvin especially whining out of key.
yeah. Yeah, all of you. It's just kind of like you're like this low,
really
like
deep.
rumbly tenor, which is really gravelly. You're this kind of like whiny, like hey, and then
But he's
Dorwin, like,
in key though.
yeah, Dorwin like kind of like bit quieter, but like kind of like pleasuring, like
Volume all over the shop.
Yeah, it's like highs and lows. You never know what's coming out of him.
I could say like as I would imagine that as
Only knows the words for the choruses, and then kind
Yeah,
of like go
yeah.
really loud for them and goes.
Yeah.
and I can imagine like as the final song sort of tapers off, I could imagine that Enoch would just sort of just break into tears, you know.
You do
I could just imagine, because you know, it being such an emotional moment and you being so fondly having I'm just imagining that you've had so many good memories in taverns with her, you know, where she's
I would say maybe
singing
it's-
and playing.
Maybe they're tears that are like, you know, processing the grief, but also like almost like a slight joy as well, as everyone's like singing together. It's like a bit of a juxtaposition. Nice. You guys all wake up the following day,
With a
nursing
point of
slight
exhaustion
hangovers.
each.
Yeah, all of you have a point of exhaustion. You kind of like had this slightly heavy night. We all stayed up chatting.
Another one.
Yeah, you have two. Yeah.
Where is it then?
Just top in the
in the
conditions.
add active conditions thing, click that.
Top right under your health.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And what did you say the D&D 1 rules on it are?
It's just each point you have is like
Minus
minus
two.
one to minus whatever number to your rolls,
Every D20
pretty much. And spell saves.
that's D20 as well, isn't it?
The saves. So like your DC being 16 would now be a 14.
Oh, my spell save.
So not your skills, just your saves.
Everything.
Oh, okay.
Even my attacks and damage.
Not damage, but attack rolls.
Okay.
But you know, it only takes a couple of like some nice decent rest to recover them.
Yeah. Well, we're going to go to Clockager, weren't we?
Yeah. You guys, I'll skip ahead slightly to arriving in Clockager. Well,
What?
it's right. You're right on the fringe of the town anyway.
Yeah.
Having
Oh,
the camp out night.
Go on.
Can I just say that Enoch doesn't really know how to use a sword? Like he's he's obviously had these cards for so long.
You must have been trained.
Yeah, I've been trained with a sword, when I was a teenager. But it's just, so he's like,
1 year ago.
I'm like 25, mate.
Yeah,
Fuck
I
off.
know. I was saying like goblin years.
Yeah,
It's just
yeah.
funny. Like the 25 goblin years, 3 in regular years.
You know that Gesh is only 12 years old,
Really?
but Dragonborn mature incredibly quickly. Like when they're like 8, they're fully grown.
Yeah, mad.
Can I sort of say before we head out?
That's changed a lot about what Enoch thinks of
Much less
Gash.
fuckable.
No,
More fuckable.
You're a
But you-
fucking child,
no,
mate.
you don't know it because Dragonborn only lived to like the age of 60. In fact, it's even younger than that. I think, isn't it?
I think it's older than that.
Is it? I swear I was read up on it. It was about 60. Can I?
Pipe down, you fucking child.
Can we discuss divvying up their possessions?
Of course.
I don't
Are you
know.
guys going to hang on to this raggedy cart for a while?
I mean,
Not
I'm
now.
probably gonna get one in Clockager.
Yeah.
Probably just gonna buy a baller one.
Yeah.
okay. What with like a mule to pull it as well?
Yeah, probably.
Because now that the task has been complete, Dragos does not want to be pulling a cart
For
anymore.
why?
For why?
Yeah.
Do you know for why? Just because it's fucking
Carry
boring.
real stuff.
What about Flasher?
When
I
Thrasher
can't-
is not
I can't imagine
tame though.
Thrasher's not going to want to stay with us, is he?
Now that we've buried Eliptu, what's Thrasher doing?
Yeah, I do know. I'll do a roll. I mean, what do
Maybe
you
we
guys?
should just get a pack mule.
Yeah, and a wagon.
Do you need a wagon?
I
Think
think
it does make it harder to get
Yeah,
over
I'm
terrain.
gonna
Oh,
slow
okay,
us
fine.
down and-
a wagon.
Mountain
is,
goats then.
I think a wagon is
I'd
certainly
have a
something
mountain
that Enoch would want, especially because he could
Fine,
decorate it
I'm
and
gonna
make it
get
look
a
really cool, but
mountain
it
goat.
wouldn't be very practical.
I'm gonna get a mountain goat then
Shall we see that?
to ride.
Shall we say that maybe like with Tyson, or maybe you guys just like take the packs off Thrasher or something.
Yeah.
Just allow him to go about his business.
And then he can sort of.
Well, he's fully getting munched in the scales.
All right, well, why not be us then? Quick pause the stream. Don't listen, Will.
Well, to
I'll do a roll and,
to-
and see what he does.
okay,
Like,
okay, yeah. See what he wants. To, yeah.
I think he's going to go his own way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, so I think certainly being a hunter and recognizing the situation of us being in the scales and of it being so dangerous, Gesh sort of will propose to the two of you to and sort of say it could certainly work in our favour to have some more meat for our rations, and we may certainly be able to provide a more dignified death for Thrasher than him to be torn apart by wild animals in the scales. What say you? What say you?
We're exhausted.
In character. Go on.
Yeah. No. I'm thinking about what Enoch
Oh,
would
yeah.
actually want in this situation.
Well, this is it.
What's Enoch's gut reaction?
Yeah.
There you go.
My gut
Well
reaction.
play.
And you see me. But actually, yeah. So I've actually been eyeing up Thrasher from the back of the caravan for like a couple of days now, actually. And you see my snaky tongue slowly begin to lick my lips.
I'll say Thrasher is getting on a bit. He has livestock at the end of the day. This is their ultimate fate. Better this than get torn to shreds by a eagle.
I quite agree, or something worse, and in being tortured.
As you guys are saying this, Thrasher's kind of like sat with his bum on the ground, a bit like a dog, and he's just kind of like looking at each of you kind of aimlessly, and then looking around a bit.
Initiative.
Well,
for initiative.
Well, I mean, do you want to see who gets to kill him with initiative?
Yeah.
No.
No?
I've just realised. Although I think it would behoove us to use his supplies for our own benefit, I have made a promise to my god that I will look after all things natural, so I can't be the one to kill him.
But by killing him, we are looking after him. We are protecting. He is a wild. Well, he is.
And while Gesh is saying that, Enoch just completely ignores him and just
ignores me.
Yeah, and just teleports behind Thrasher and stabs him in the head.
Fine, sure, yeah. It's kind of like a, and then
Just
then
literally just in the back of the head.
Sort of avert my eyes. What over there?
No, I think look after nature within reason and stuff is probably fun. But yeah, I think Dorwood probably wanting to be as safe as possible at the moment makes sense.
Yeah. Also, I'm going to take any chance I can to do this because how often do you get to look after nature?
Yeah. Nice.
So
I'll jump cut to lunchtime, and
Maybe the wand has seed.
from like a film perspective, there's this, and then there's kind of like a fade to black and fade back in, and you're all kind of sat around a fire, like frying up some strips of bacon and things in your cast
No,
iron.
it's spit roasted pigs.
Just
all of it for three of us, like one day.
Yeah, like
Because you've got to cure it.
Yeah, while you've been gutting him and stuff, like Gesh has gone off for a couple of hours to find some nice herbs and stuff like that to come back to season him with.
Did you find an apple-like product on your travels, Gesh?
Have I found an apple-like product on my travels?
So
In the scales, okay.
Maybe a big berry.
You found not really
Some
the
more
closest
mushrooms.
The closest thing you found is you found a rather productive blueberry bush. Some nice blueberry jam or something to go with it.
Oh, can we say that we've managed to make some nice black pudding as well from it?
Yeah, I mean, I think you've got to leave black pudding for ages, right? Is it like
I've no idea.
I think you make it as a sausage and leave it.
That's fine. I've got vials in my herbalism kit. You can come up with something.
Just filling glass vials with
Precious
pudding.
blood. No, I'm pretty sure it's like you.
Well, most sausages you like leave for a little bit, don't you? I don't know.
It
It
doesn't
doesn't matter.
have to.
Either way,
But I'm
let's forego the black pudding for now.
Yeah. So.
Black pudding debate.
Oh, okay.
The black
We,
pudding is also a name of a very, very terrifying ooze enemy.
Really?
Yeah.
Let me just Google.
Certainly.
Dissolve all your items.
Certainly, for the next few days, we will need this cart to hang the carcass and cure the meat.
Yeah. Shall I say that maybe like you guys leave? Would you maybe leave him there and head into Clockager or something, or would you leave him on the wagon? Like,
I was going to say we take the wagon with us,
Yeah,
and we
sure.
hang him in the wagon to let the meat dry, and then we
Yeah.
can turn it into sausages and shit.
We've been smoking it every night.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you guys make the 2-hour journey, whatever it is, to
Me?
Clockager.
Yeah, no, I know.
Um,
I'm just loving imagining like just the carcass getting smaller and smaller, but like as the days go by, the meat just becomes more and more flavoursome.
you guys, so you guys travel to Clockager, kind of, you know, all like chatting quite merrily, having enjoyed your sort of little camp out near the town.
Any chance of any elemental water?
Do your survival check, the initial one.
Mm-hmm. 9.
I think that means you don't find anything, right?
You were home.
No, it's in the document, in the alchemy document. I think you got to get like a 10 or something to find something, and then with that we do a roll to see what you found. Look at that. But yeah, it's not funny anything. Is it?
What? Yeah, it's between a 2 and a 4 or a 10 and a 12. Is what it says.
Wait, what?
Yeah. I know 20.
No, fuck that. I'm not talking about that. Ignore that. I've got my own thing.
Hey Google,
I'm talking about whether you find anything.
Make
at all
the
when
lights
you do
green.
research.
Oh, right.
So go to the top.
We're in. Hold on. We're in.
No, ignore that. Go to the top.
Oh, nice.
And scroll down a little bit. It'll be like
well done Google.
foraging for ingredients
That's
or
the right
something to that effect. Will be. So it'll be before identifying. Go up there. Gathering. Have a look into that maybe. But yeah. So. Yeah, you guys kind of like, you know, merrily make this hour-long journey with like full bellies down towards Clockager, and you see this great watchtower in the distance, and there's a couple of little like holdings, like little buildings and stuff around it as well. As you approach, you know, I'd say perhaps even during the camp out, there's a chance that you might have like heard dwarves passing by on paths further down the mountainside, and as you approach, you see one of the owners who kind of stood there with he's like kind of like stroking this great this giant eagle which has this saddle on it. As he's kind of like stroking his feathers, he just he sees as you guys pass by, he goes, "Oh, merry bunch! I saw you. I remember you passing down here a few weeks ago. What brings you back? A successful quest, I hope."
I cannot be bothered with. I say Enoch
yeah.
is just gonna walk on.
Okay, I'll sort of snap at him and I say, well, obviously your memory is not that vivid because our number is considerably less, and I sort of just carry on walking.
As you guys kind of walk on, you see kind of like looks down slightly, and you just hear that as you've already passed him, he just kind of timidly says, "My condolences," as you walk on. Clockager, there's quite a few. You see that the majority of the dwarves here are mages in these kind of blue robes. Some of them are like holding staffs, but a lot of them are kind of sat around chatting. It's almost like although the dwarves themselves are old, a lot of them are fairly old. It's almost like a university campus kind of vibe here, where people are kind of like, you know, chatting, and there's a lot of intellectual conversation around and that sort of
We've
thing.
passed by this, haven't we? We
Yeah,
haven't
yeah,
gone
you
in,
passed
though, have we?
So you kind of pass by the fringe, but like the thing is
This is where we came into the scales in the first place, wasn't it? Near
Yeah,
where we came to the scales in the first place, wasn't it?
Yeah. So this place is It's essentially what you're looking at is there's a couple of like these white dwarven buildings kind of sparsely scattered around this sort of like flat area, and there's like these paths which seem to link them all up. And then there's this sort of centerpiece of this fucking great big tower with this like amazing glowing blue gem. Like it looks like the glowing stone gems that you've seen elsewhere, but this one's definitely got a sort of different aura emanating from it. But yeah, it's quite like you get the impression that this is the kind of place where on a day to day it's fairly casual, but you could also see it being a real like, you know, if shit hit the fan, you get the sense that everyone is very professional also.
Real power.
Yeah. The extent of any sort of tavern you can find is more like it's just sort of like this quite small room with a bar. You know, there's not a huge amount of people that are here regularly, so it's just enough to put up a few dwarves when they're thirsty.
Yeah, Gesh is very happy with how calm the tavern is, with the fact that there's not a lot of noise and not a lot of sort of tomfoolery. You know, he's very happy to just to buy himself a tonic and just sit quietly in the corner.
Yeah, nice. So as you're doing that, you kind of sat around, and then you notice that Dorwin, in the peripheral of your vision, you notice there's a couple of dwarves who are just like having a chat at the other side of this tavern, and they're kind of like sort of like not trying to be discreet or anything. Like occasionally like pointing at your seem to be pointing at your book, which is like attached to your hip, I imagine, kind of like a chain or something.
How is
do you have it in a? Do you just have it in a
usually my backpack probably.
Do you not like use it when you cast spells and stuff sometimes?
I thought you sort of carried it with you, like I'm imagining your Hero Forge character.
Because it's
you
like
always sort of held it.
Sometimes when you cast a spell, I'm imagining like sometimes you look in your book or something. But if you've got a
we
different,
sort of roleplayed as I use my gem as my
Yeah,
focus,
that's true.
you know,
Yeah.
rather than my spell book.
Oh,
so
okay, sure. Well,
sort of just like
all right. I'll say they're just gesturing at you then, like because you're magic.
I may well have my book out on the table while I'm in a tavern.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. I'll say that it's kind of like a game recognizes game kind of thing where it's easy for magic users to spot other magic users.
Yeah.
Is your book something that you try and keep hidden?
No,
It's not particularly sort of secretive.
No.
No. Okay.
I keep my dagger hidden.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
Priceless.
Because the way I've always envisioned Dorwin is that I've always envisioned you basically are like consulting the book about everything. Like
Yeah, I often.
all the time.
Not like in combat. I'm not
No.
carrying my book around, but
Okay.
like if we're ever sat, I'll have my book out and I'll be like
just
reading
constantly poring over your
Yeah.
notes and stuff.
I'd say because would you
more.
mind?
I didn't. Sorry.
No, you go.
I was going to say, what you might have noticed from me seeing the book is that you've got all the stuff I've written in Common and Gnomish, but there's also loads of stuff like towards the back of the book that is like in a different script, and I'm often like sort of flicking between the two, and there's
Okay.
like other weird symbols and shit that like
Would Gesh recognise any of it?
probably.
I mean,
no,
I would
no.
never really be looking at
No.
it, but just
I'm like trying to figure it out as well.
Oh, okay.
I'd
And-
say as well, like something that I maybe add is as well as there is like all the stuff that's in the book. I like to think that there's also just general like old notes and snippets of like just like personal advice and that kind of thing, just bits and bobs that you like.
It's like a Half-Blood Prince type deal.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. And have you got like a little designated section where you were like deciphering the Maldiog stuff in it as well? Or-
there's no
No,
idea
that I wouldn't. I
but
wouldn't.
did he not write anything
No.
Oh,
I wouldn't be doing
from
that.
when he was working with Runegrave?
I wouldn't be doing that in my spell book. This is like magic thing. I have other notebooks and shit that I like
right.
use for general
okay.
note
So I
taking.
just thought it was just your book for everything.
No, this is my particular spell book where I do magic things. And
Right. So that's
Know
why
my
you don't
spells.
pour over it all the time. That
no,
way. Okay.
but still, I have out a lot. It's the most.
Do you, just out of interest, because I don't often ask, but do you change your prepared spells very much, or do you generally have a similar number to prepared and known?
Yeah, I used to change them around more. Now I've settled on a few which I like to have, and then when I level up, I always change them around. And if I know we're gonna be doing combat, I'll often swap out one or two. But yeah, they've sort of settled a bit. But I do keep an eye on it.
You see that as you guys are kind of sat, just having like quiet conversation. One of these dwarves comes over and grabs like a flagon, 2 flagons of ale, and just like places one down in front of you, Dorwin, and just says, "That's rather interesting. What you've got there? Not here to steal our magical secrets, are you?" He says like playfully.
Oh, not steal, no, but I definitely would like to know what they are.
He says, if you're not in the middle of something, would you like to join me and my colleague?
Yes, probably. Who are you?
He says, my name's Havar. I'm one of the mages here. I've not been here a long time, but my colleague over there, Druven, he's a bit more versed in these things.
Oh, wow, yes. I was actually going to go and look for some school, magic school type location. I don't know what you'd call it. What is it you do here?
He says, well, it's a great honour to learn how to tend to the Great Watchtower, but otherwise it's a bit of a gathering spot for mages from all of the main dwarven cities in the Scales. Here we like to share what we can learn. There's a bit of an ethos here. You know how mages are, awfully secretive and protective over their own works. Here we like to think ourselves as more of a community learning space.
Yes, I do know what you mean. I've encountered some very secretive mages in my time. That's an interesting mindset you have here. I'd love to join you and discuss.
Sure. They say, join me, and as he does, he just kind of like nods his head and just says, "Excuse me" to you and Gesh, and he kind of like places a firm, friendly hand on your back, and you're kind of like, "Ooh."
What race is he and stuff?
He's
Oh, dwarf.
Yeah. They kind of like set you up on this table, and they say, as he's walking over, he just kind of says, "So, what brings a deep gnome to these places? I've rarely seen you above the ground."
Yes, well, believe me, I'd much rather not be here, but for a number of reasons, where I come from is no longer safe to return to. The drow...
I don't think the Underdark's ever safe. I don't know how you get on down there. It must be hell.
Yes, it's certainly a struggle. Even in our settlements, it's still dangerous. The one I'm from became particularly so. We and the drow do not get on very well.
I think that's a tale as old as time, although I would have to say there's not many folk who get on with those drow.
Yes, they can certainly be spiky.
As you guys sit down at the table, you see that there's the other dwarf there. He's kind of he's got this long pipe, kind of half on his hand, half on his belly. He's also got these blue robes, but they've kind of got these white seams, which Druven doesn't seem to have, like along the edge of where the robe joins to me and everything. And he just goes, "Oi, it's nice to meet an unusual face here."
Don't get many travellers, no?
We get a few, but normally it's pompous mages trying to find out whatever they can here. They don't like to contribute to our community here. Take a seat, little one.
Well, thank you. I can assure you I'm anything but pompous.
He holds out a hand and says, "You'll do well here. My name's Havar."
Dimble.
Pleasure. As Oscar grabs a hand much larger than his. He says, "How about this? I take a look at your spellbook and I'll show you mine."
Yes. Okay. Well, if
If
this
you
is...
have reservations, lad, it's okay.
No, you'd be the first person to see it. But if this is the place people come to share magic knowledge, I'm all for that.
Let me see here. And he like pulls out, like slides your spellbook over, and he takes out this golden tome.
Fucking massive thing.
It's like Inglourious Bastards when he's got the giant pipe.
Yeah.
You see, he kind of like sets it down, and Druven says, "Have you really ever let me look in the damn thing?" He goes, "Quiet." And as you kind of like
Both hands.
you see that all of the ink work is done in like metallic gold ink, and where your spell book, every bit of it has kind of like notes scrawled where you can, squeezing in little like little areas, and you do use the finest inks you can find typically, and like especially you trying to find arcane inks and that kind of thing. But this is kind of like this would be like a almost like a those old like Latin books, which are just like everything's just perfect kind of thing.
It's got like an image down the side of the pages and shit.
Yeah. And you flick through it, and looking in this other spell, like you've come across spellbooks once or twice in the past, but normally they've kind of been a bit damaged and hard to decipher and stuff. You see that because this one's kind of done so well, you find it quite curious that despite the fact that that mages all have their own way of doing things, some of the spells that you have learned and recognized, you see that it's kind of like almost like a arcane coincidence that you've kind of drawn the same conclusions in the layouts of certain runes and things, although it's not quite the same.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's still interesting. You're like, oh, I recognize this.
I see, yeah. Mine's like the Wish version.
Yeah. And so you're kind of looking through it and like, I mean, give me an Arcana check just to see and see where we go.
Can I say, while Dorwin is at the table with these two, I turn to Enoch and I say, I've been waiting for a chance for this. How about a game of dragon chess?
And I say,
I have a dragon chess.
okay. And I say, in my mind, buddy, I'll live inside here. If you think you're going to beat me at dragon chess, you've got another thing coming.
Honey,
Nice.
you got a big storm coming.
Do you two? So we'll say that while they're doing that, we'll do the first game. Can you both give me? I mean,
I would assume that a dragon chess game would take a long time to be played properly.
we'll say the first one when you're both like figuring out how each other plays. You do like more of a blitzy one, just to get a vibe for how each other play.
Sure.
And then after your first one, you settle into like you're like, this is our like sounding game, and then you're like preparing for the big one.
Okay.
So just for an initial one, which takes maybe like 25-30 minutes or something.
I'll play you in chess instead.
Which you would win, so no, I don't want to do that.
I'd rather roll to play.
Yeah, I would rather just roll on here.
So can you both?
Do I?
I'll tell you what. Both each. I mean, is he not good at dragon chess, or is he bluffing? As in, close your ears.
Well, okay, whisper then. That's working well. That's working well. You done? Or what?
Yeah, we're good. So you're pretty good at dragon chess, right?
Yeah.
So can you please roll one of your skills that you're really good at? Just any of them with a modifier.
Which one?
Do
Well,
like one of these ones?
Because I'm average at that. But
Yeah, that's
makes
it.
no sense.
That makes it. The name of the skill doesn't matter. Just do your strongest one.
Could I just say that he would be? To be fair, you'd be good at a lot of games, of course, because you spend a lot of time in taverns. But is dragon chess something that's sort of like quite a renowned and respected game?
Oh,
Or
it's like
is it
it's
just
on
something?
par with chess, sort of.
Okay, so it's not something.
There's like
that's
dragon
sort
chess champions and stuff.
So it's not just played within like Dragonborn communities, really.
No,
It's sort
well, I mean it is, but
worldwide.
it's like definitely
okay.
a unifier. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, fine about that.
No, it's also probably not Enoch's favourite type of game, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Because in my head, like the
was just
reason I would be challenging him is because I would think
Ali,
that I
you
would
beat
have
me.
a
Playing in
considerable
poker after.
So you
advantage
do
over
a
him.
Playing in
poker.
poker
I'll just
after.
do one-
Literally your
I'll
strongest one. Do your strongest one. Yeah.
just-
Okay, nice. So what did you roll?
And something like an 8 or something.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, cool.
So you find in the first one you fucking like do really well. Basically, it's over in like 20 minutes or so.
I wouldn't have shown my
Okay,
full
fine.
abilities in a sounding
okay,
game.
fine. Yeah,
We can just do multiple games, mate. It's fine.
Yeah. Okay.
You won
Yeah,
the
we'll
first game.
say that when you win, but you made it seem like you got just one, and leading one a bit or something.
Okay.
Meanwhile, after this time has elapsed, you find that it's kind of interesting. Like you're kind of like looking over this book quite excitedly and like understanding what's fit, and you see that Khazal is like having to kind of like he's like stroking his beard
Yeah.
and has like a wistful look.
It's like
He's-
changing page and shit, like trying to find my references.
He says, and then you see like after a little bit, you see like his eyes kind of sparkle a bit, and he spends about another 5 minutes or so like really looking at one, and he goes, lad, there's a page here with that many notes on, I may be able to help you with. There's a spell in here. I'm not entirely sure, but I think it may be stone skin. It's quite common among dwarves, but I must say that this dialect, although I've come across it before, is written in a way that I've not come across before. Have you been deciphering this yourself?
Just before we do, I rolled 21 on my Arcana from before.
Oh, okay, nice. Yeah,
that
yeah,
means, but
sure. Yeah, I'll say that with that, you're like, there's a lot of spells, like a lot of the spells on your spell list you're like looking at and seeing how you can write them differently, how to maybe enhance them slightly and stuff, just like from a roleplay perspective. Yeah.
Yes, well, I've been trying. I never went to mage school officially, so I'm probably not as clued up as a lot of you might be. But I've always had a penchant for languages, and
see
so
that?
I've been doing my best to convert this ancient dialect into something more readable.
Var says, Druven always says it's the mages that seek things out on their own that tend to make the greatest breakthroughs. And you see Havar just kind of goes, correct.
I've certainly made a couple of them, although nothing earth-shattering as of yet.
He says, come around here, Dorwin, have a look. These runes here, although I can see they're in a gnomish dialect, can you see the dwarven influence?
Yes, I've been consulting Dwarven texts greatly during my translation.
Yes, well, that's because stone skin was made by a great dwarven warrior quite some time ago. It said that he was powerful enough with the spell that he could bless entire armies, and with it, their strength in battle would improve their defensive capabilities would improve tenfold. He says, anyway, I digress. You can see the runes here. The way they add up into the center is what you need to pay attention to. It's a little bit different from what you might be used to, but if you're willing to stay for a day, I can help you crack this spell.
Oh, that would be excellent. I've heard of stone skin before. I know it can be very powerful. It would benefit me greatly if you were willing to spend the time.
Of course. Why don't Havar? This could be a learning experience for you too, to see how other people learn. It's not all about dwarves. And you see Havar says, he seems to like nod submissively, but also like as though he's heard this so many times before. You get the impression that Druven is kind of like like a fresh academic who's like very excited about
Padawan.
Padawan. And Havar seems well travelled and
Sure.
sort of explored. So I'd say you maybe spend, if you want to, maybe spend the rest of the day and some of the following day in like their study. Like poring over these things and like conversing and learning about the spell, and by the end of it, you feel like you do these. He like sprinkles out this. He like in his study. He says all these different like cabinets and drawers and vials everywhere, and he pulls this one out, and he's got this sack about this big, and he pulls out like a sprinkle of this like sparkling dust. And he kind of like dresses it over himself, like sprinkles it over himself. Oh no, sorry, he sprinkles it over Druven actually. Sure. And he says, "Go in, Dorwin, you're the best shot." And as he says that, you see Druven goes, "I hate being the test dummy." And with the V and M, the vocal and the S, sorry, Semantic. Do you want to describe a little bit about what you give a go?
Sure, yeah. So it'll be I'll be speaking Dwarvish. I obviously don't know the words, but I'll like sort of quietly have one hand on my dagger and just like put my hand up to the guy as I sort of start saying these words a little bit broken, glancing down at the book in between. I like kind of clench my fist, and as I do, can I swap the spell?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, his skin sort of starts to get grey and darker, and then cracks appear, and it sort of like brittles up into a completely stone form of a man. And yeah, I guess that's the.
So you see,
that's
as you're doing that, Havar kind of goes, well done, lad. And he kind of like walks over and like picks up this drum, and he kind of like taps his fingers on it a little bit, and he goes, and walks over to Drubin and just cracks it over his head. And you see like Drubin like winces, and then he's like, oh, I didn't feel a thing. Well done, Doran. That's quite impressive.
Thank you. I love learning new spells.
He says, and Havar says, yes, very good. Now, Drubin, you go and show everyone how you've mastered stone skin. And he gives him a wink, and Drubin kind of goes, like, gets the hint and leaves the room. And Havar kind of like becomes like slightly more serious and says, Dorwin, sit on the chair there, would you?
Sure.
He says, I'm not sure if you noticed. I'm certain Drubin didn't notice, but you were slipping into a bit of Maldiag there. How has this come to be? Were you aware you were doing it?
Oh no, I hadn't noticed. It must have been subconscious. Well, it does make sense though. I spent a long time in the city of
The town of
Jurkim, with a dwarf named Rugail, and he spent a lot of time helping me understand Maldiag. Although I still don't know it fluently, some parts did really stick. I guess I must be using their shorthand.
He says, well, it normally takes dwarves many years to be able to incorporate Maldiag into the vocal components of a spell. How long have you been training with this Rugail?
Well, maybe nearly a week, but we did.
A week?
We did have some help. Rugail gave us an item which helped with the understanding of it.
My boy, would you be willing to stay here? I think we could have a good relationship, you know.
Believe me, I would love to, but I am actually in the middle of something quite important.
It's always the ones with the talent that have something important to do. He says, well, if you ever change your mind, I'll be waiting here. I plan to live the rest of my days here. Should you get any trouble in any of the dwarven cities, particularly if there's mages involved, let them know that you have Havar's blessing.
Well, thank you very much. I'll be sure to remember this. I imagine we'll be in the scales for a little while longer, so I'll be sure to drop in here and there when I can. And who knows, maybe in the future I'll have the freedom to spend a longer stint of time here.
I'd say if you spend any time longer here, you'll be the one teaching me, lad. He said, well, for as long as you stick around, I'd like to spend a bit more time with you, but if you must be on your way, I'll leave you to it.
Sure, let me regroup with my friends, and I may come and seek you out again before we leave. This is where I can find you?
Most of the time, if not, just ask around.
Okay. Thank you, Havar. You've been a great help, and I really appreciate it.
You've helped me too, lad. It's nice to have the variety of my youth visit this town.
Has he learned anything from Dorwin's spellbook?
It seems like he... Not really, no. He's kind of like... he's kind of got a lot of it on lock, but I think he just had... Like, Dorwin's spellbook to him was just like a fun puzzle, but I doubt any of the spells would have, like, necessarily...
He just recognised his natural aptitude to it, basically.
this guy will be stronger than me.
Yeah. Okay.
What was the name of the other guy?
Druiden. So
Oh, before I leave,
Yeah.
can I ask? I was forgot to do it. But can I ask the guy if there's any magic shops where they might sell spell scrolls or magic items or anything?
So in general, magic item shops, like components and spells and things are more common. He'll say if you need to take out a few components or some such, head over to the building across the road. Speak to Ilith. They'll be able to help you out. In fact, he says stone skin can be rather an expensive one, and you see he reaches into the large pouch he has and he sprinkles a smaller pouch and gives you like 2 or 3 uses of stone skin basically.
Nice. Has it got a material component?
Yeah, so it consumes 100 gold pieces worth of diamond dust.
Ooh, shit.
So it's like
Okay.
but it it lasts an hour, but it is also concentration. So
Sure. Cool.
yeah. So yeah, do you want to head over to this magic shop? Is there anything particularly looking for?
Oh no, just
Role
want to
play?
know where it is.
Oh, okay. I'm just going to go for a quick piss. Do you want to do some rolls again?
Yeah, sure. We'll just do it like just rolls for the game mechanic.
Yeah, no.
So we can. So after winning the.
Do you want me to hear this or should I go through this?
No, you don't need to
We're
hear
just
it.
chatting shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much. So after the first roll.
Can I just say,
yeah.
I have pictured us like sitting in the corner of the tavern,
Yeah.
candlelit table but quite dim,
Yeah.
and you sitting there sort of leaning forward with your hat tipped, smoking your pipe, and say like Korvax is on the on the top of sort of the chair of your booths, like they're quite high wooden booths. Oh no, because they'd be stone, wouldn't they? Stone booths. And then like we're obviously sat opposite each other, and Dragos is sat between the two of us, but slightly to my side, sort of trying to play referee sort of thing. And all 4 of us are just like intensely like looking at, and I've got my hood up as well, and we're just poring over this game.
Maybe Korvax keeps trying to nick your pieces, and you keep like batting him away. When you're winning, it's like he's like trying to nick a piece.
Do you have psychic communication with Korvax?
You don't know, mate.
Okay, well I would guess we just assume that you do. So yeah, fair enough. Yeah. But yeah, what were you going to say?
So maybe we've played maybe like 2 more games. Do you want to do the rolls just for the?
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So my first So I just rolled both of them.
Yeah.
Okay. I rolled 2 9s.
Oh, you beat me on both.
Oh, have I actually?
Yeah.
What?
I got a 7 and a 5.
Oh,
narrowly one.
Yeah, each one narrowly beat him.
Yeah.
But I'll obviously I'll try and be proud and save face and pretend that I had it all under control at the whole time, but really inside sort of like.
There's a great in the book I recently read. There's this interaction where the main character has this interaction with he like befriends this old man who plays this chess-like game, and the guy's like such a master at the game that he gets as the other characters getting better and better at playing, the other guy's getting pissed off with him because he's being like too tactical and like logical, and he just wants to play because he likes the beauty of the game and he wants it to be the most aesthetically pleasing game he possibly can. So like when he was first playing and like just doing stuff he thought seemed right, it was a lot more beautiful. But as he learned with being really tactical, he was like, no, like I'm trying to show you how to make it beautiful. And
Even though he's just beating him every time.
Easily, yeah. Like for him, like it's not about like he can beat everyone so easily that for him he just wants it to look nice when he does it. Oh, that's quite nice.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Getting annoyed at someone getting better because they're trying to win. He's like, no, don't try and beat me.
Yeah.
Just make the pieces into nice patterns.
Yeah.
So we're both maybe like maybe just drinking. It's maybe a kind of a situation where like loser buys like the next drink. So I'm like, I've bought you 3 drinks, and I'm sort of kick back in my chair and say, maybe we've been chatting and kind of like, you know.
I feel it's a real sort of bonding moment for the two of us.
And I lean back in my chair and say, "You're all right, Gesh." And I reach into my pocket and toss up an amulet, like a amber amulet, and I toss it over to you. And I say, "I found that on Elictu. It was of dragon forging. Seemed only right that you should be the one to take it on."
Well, a kindness from you is rather rare, so I will.
Oh, don't pout now. Don't pout, Gesh.
Yeah, and Gesh sort of gives him a cheeky smile and says, "Well, I'll accept this gratefully." What is it?
So it's the.
Maybe Enoch said, yeah.
Yeah.
You saw it.
Yeah. So
Like, do you
it allows the it allows the user to transform themselves into a dragon. I can't imagine what that might feel like for someone of your kind to finally experience being the same as something that you are so close to in terms of your mind, but so far away from in terms of your body.
A common misconception that most other races make, that Dragonborn are keen to be dragons. We are actually quite the opposite. We try to be as different and as individual from them as possible. However, it will certainly be an experience that I'm keen to have. And can I say that certainly after having this, being given this amulet, if we're going to be in the town for a few days, like, I guess she's going to make a beeline for getting out of the town.
Before you do, it's only got 3 uses.
Oh, ever?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's,
one for free for roleplay.
Oh,
no way, not
was
even
there
fly
so
around.
it turns you into a young black dragon.
a young black dragon.
Yeah.
And when that creature's hit points are exhausted, you'll still have your full pool of hit points. Afterwards.
Sick. Okay.
So it's kind of like when shit hits the fan. Basically, the amulet has 4 points on it, and when you fought that mage, he turned it to one of the points, and that transformed him into the dragon. So each time you turn it, you use like the use.
Sick. Okay.
I'm saying Elite should have done that.
Oh yeah, sure. I said he should have done that when you guys were fighting it. It would have been so cool if that turned into a dragon fight.
Oh, fucking hell! Can you imagine?
It would have been lit. Paralyzed dragon. So like Skyrim, when you just fucking evolving a dragon.
What's it called? Does it have?
Just call it dragon amulet.
Okay.
I'll homebrew it.
Oh, sick. Okay.
Leave it for now. I've got it on my list of shit.
Do you
to
know
do.
like all of its stats and shit like that? Like for what a young black dragon has? Like.
Oh no, you'll have to just Google the sheet for that.
Yeah.
When
Oh yeah.
when
Just
you use
literally
it.
type in young black dragon stats, whatever.
You could just put that in the homebrew
what
thing,
level?
so it doesn't have to.
What level?
I don't know. Does young black dragon specify?
It's the same.
Might be able to
thing,
link it.
So it wouldn't be like a young
check
black
it out
dragon.
now.
I wouldn't be able to
It'd
just write
be like
out
a
all the
12
stats and attach it to the dragon.
No, okay.
I'd have to like link it
Literally
to
type in
the
young
Oh,
black
you
dragon.
need attacks
Beyond
as well, fine. Or maybe
attacks,
just the link.
like intelligence. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Might be able to link it.
So yeah, you keep your wisdom, charisma, and intelligence, and then your strength, dex, and con are all transferred abilities. Yeah. I just gotta say it's so nice having like the nice music and nice normal
Yeah.
not being in a horrible
Yeah,
place for a
yeah.
while. It's like actually restful for me too. Not trying to think how I might need to kill you at any moment.
I assume you have the cloak and the ring.
You assumed correctly.
We've still got tied shit as well.
There's the crossbow.
Yeah, and the loot. But
You'll see in the dark.
And all
Maybe give it to an eventual companion. That
yeah,
shows up.
hang on to
Yeah.
it for now.
Yeah.
and all of their money as well.
Yeah, you want to divvy up their coin.
Yeah,
You can look at their sheets, can't you?
can't look at Cora. She made it private for some reason.
Okay, we'll just ask her.
You're DM,
yes,
so
so
you're
that-
DM, so you might be able to.
Oh, okay, sure, yeah. So that 5 to 6 is it takes that amount of time to recharge, like number of rounds.
So secret.
Yeah, I'll have a look.
Oh, fucking hell, that's nice. Oh,
Ali's looking at porn.
1,500 gold split 3 ways is quite nice.
oh shit! We've got all their All
From
the money,
just
haven't
connecting.
we? Hasn't he got? He's got plat as well.
Yeah, only 5.
Yeah, I can look at tide stuff.
No,
How much gold has she got?
And it's just loading. So, is it in inventory?
Yeah.
Oh, she only had 311 gold.
She had plat as well.
Apparently not.
She'd been forgetting to add stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure. Add on another couple of plats or something.
Cumberland.
Plat aren't that much, they're only 10 gold.
Yeah,
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 but
gold.
even so, it's like
Yeah, but she would have. I've been spending so much money, and I've got.
you've all been getting stuff split. So
Oh, really?
I've got
You've got-
I've
you
got
converted all to plat.
I've got over 1,000 gold, and I've made a point of not accepting a lot of the loot from. Do you remember when you guys
Yeah.
went and plundered that guy, and Ty took a load
Like-
of it of my stuff? So maybe she's just been inputting it wrong. She must have been inputting it wrong.
Yeah.
I like sold goods from that heist worth more than 300 gold.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
For
But
Tide.
she's been doing loads of
But-
she's been selling armor and all sorts of shit.
Yeah. Actually, I don't think she's bought anything either. She must have
No, she hasn't really bought
She must
anything.
at least
either,
have
has
another 1,000.
she also had 2 pearls. She had a charisma potion.
Oh yeah.
ooh.
I'm gonna add Tide 500 gold. Okay.
Yeah. And yeah.
Is it just so I will remain as a young black dragon until I either choose to return to my natural form or I run out of hit points? Yeah, cool.
I'm so looking forward to you and Dragos things out dragons together.
Oh, mate. And him knowing that I'm his master as
Yeah.
well, and the two of us
You two are
like
flying around, breath weapons,
just fucking things up.
Do we want to sell some of this shit while we're here?
Yeah, we can just sort of do that without role playing and stuff.
Yeah. Do you want to just convert it into gold and I'll divvy it up?
Yeah. What stuff do you want to sell? By the
Um,
way, it's probably worth hanging on to gems just because of the weight.
Sure. I'm not using gold weight, but sometimes they go for spells and shit. So.
Oh, you're not using gold weight?
No.
They would have I'm assuming they would have like an alchemy shop in
Are there certain ingredients you want to buy?
Cockagea. No, I'd like to sell my potion of resist cold that I couldn't sell in
Oh,
the
yeah,
Red Skull
yeah.
Cavern.
Just before you crack on, can I ask how much it would be to sell the Moonstone Goblet and the Ivory Horn that Will has?
Oh.
I think the Moonstone Goblet was maybe fancy. I don't know about the horn.
Yeah, we'll say the goblet's probably worth about 150,
Okay.
and the ivory horn we'll say is worth 75.
Okay.
Do you just want to make a persuasion check and see what we go, or do you want to do like a? Do you want to
No, I'm
barter
happy.
with me?
No, I'm happy to just do that persuasion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Tell me your roll. Ooh, they won it.
12.
12. Okay, I say you're able to. Someone's willing to sell it for 125. Buy it for 125.
Yeah. Okay. It's better than what I was going to get down there, wasn't it?
Yeah, so I can manage to get it to 80 down there. So big difference.
Yeah. So what are we doing about divvying up their
Add-
items and shit?
Add 157 gold. Wait, 857 gold.
Okay. That's the money
Or-
sorted.
85 plat.
Yeah, you can get it converted.
Yeah,
The town.
at a
place,
bank.
yeah.
85 plat and 7 gold.
And the only remaining items are the loot and the crossbow.
Didn't Will have a ring as well?
Yeah, Morris robbed that.
No, have you swiped that?
No, we can do it up.
Well, what was it? Was it his Misty Step thing?
Misty Step ring and his cloak at the back.
Okay. Oh, because you've got the Spidey boots in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that is like 3 pretty good magic items for me though. So if people don't feel, if people want them, I'm out of role playing stuff. They can have them, but for me, they synergize so ridiculously well with my character.
Yeah, I think
It's
the fact that
actually
I've got
insane.
the fact that I've got. Did you just take it with the dragon amulet off Lictu's corpse as well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, you're obviously giving it to me. Was that crossbow basically? Obviously, it was a source of light when we were in Orenthor's tomb. But
Yeah.
is it kind of just a bit symbolic? It's not actually that practical.
So it does
anymore
a- it
right
does
now.
a-
It's got a source-
So
it's a source of-
it deals a D8 and then an additional D4 when it's glowing.
Okay.
So it's decent.
Okay. Well, would.
Is it better than your?
You hang on to it if you want.
It's not better than
Just
my
use it as a light
phone.
source if nothing else.
No, I've got my dark vision goggles now, so
Fair.
I would never use.
We could always save it for one. I'm not sure if it's what the other players are planning, but it might. We could always just give it to one of them.
Yeah.
Sure, we'll just keep on to it for now then.
Yeah. Okay. If it's quite good, yeah.
Oh, so you guys wanted to buy some kind of mount or like some packets?
I think we were certainly happy to. We want to contribute to a mule, but maybe not.
I would rather have a
Not a
mountain
wagon.
goat.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. Let me get up my notes real quick, and then we can do that.
Dorwin, being usually quite a insular person, doesn't love the thought of having to look after a whole animal with all that shit. But you know, I understand the use of it. But yeah, I probably won't. Yeah, I don't know.
Enoch, shall we do some bartering?
Yeah. Can do.
Nice. Okay, so you after asking around town a little bit, you get directed over to this sort of stable, which is like half a mile outside of town. And when you head over there, you see that the
He's got a fridge. Oh no.
Oh, can you grab me a beer while you're there?
Me
Can I have
too.
one
Me
too?
too, please.
Everyone.
Yeah. You get over to this building, which is essentially it's like there's a number of stone. Oh, the fridge is still open.
You can't like not get closed anymore. Yeah, that's not a good note. Thanks, mate.
Thank you, dude. You like do this little travel, you know, it's like 5 minutes out of town, and there's this kind of where the path kind of like winds down and off to the other settlements. You see that kind of off to one side. There's this structure. It's got like a number of stone pillars, like kind of like marble pillars, that get gradually taller. And as you make your way down there, see there's a couple of dwarves milling around. Most of them just look like farm hands kind of thing. And there's a couple of owners. There's a couple of owners stood around. These are sort of more elite guard.
Okay.
They're kind of sat around like laughing with each other and chatting.
A lot of spillage there.
What's in chocolate spread?
I was going to go all over the fucking floor then.
Yeah, they're kind of chatting, and as you walk over, you see that you kind of get like a few dirty looks from those from the owners. And I imagine Enoch strides right by, not giving a flying fuck.
No.
The
face of this anti-racism.
one of the farm hands kind of looks up, and you see that he's kind of like got a bit of a sneer.
Sorry, just before you like begin this, are we just leaving him to barter on our behalf to get a mount?
I'm not bothered, so yeah. But if you have,
Because I actually,
You go with him.
Well, Gesh really doesn't need one. I can carry a lot of weight, so I'm happy to sort of go with whatever Dawn would need
well, yeah.
for the sort of the sake of the group. you
I'll
know.
contribute a bit, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Cool. You're acting on behalf of the three of us then.
Oh, and you've not accompanied me.
No.
All right. Well, you get what you get then.
Yeah. 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 Fine.
I'm like, all right, fine. Been sent on a mission.
You will be responsible for it if it
Went
gets
on
locked
a
down.
mission.
I went on a mission.
Not sent. Just so we're clear, I didn't ask you to do this. just logging that in for the future.
As you kind of go down, you see that the stables, along with the sloped roof, get like progressively larger. And as you kind of go over and poke through, you see that in a couple of them there's like some boars and some goats, and then further up they've got like dire goats and dire boars and things. And one of these farm hands kind of sneers at you slightly, and this like slightly older dwarf holding like a pitchfork, kind of like walks past and like forcefully like bashes it into him and kind of like mutters something to him, and walks over to you and says, "What brings you to the stables?"
welcome and thank you for that kind welcome. I come to the stables much like any other valued customer might, looking to buy a mount.
He kind of looks at the Inuz and kind of like feels like a pang of like. Make an insight check.
Okay. 12.
You see, he there seems to be like an element of frustration as he looks at the Inuz.
Okay.
And he looks down to you and like he gives you like a polite smile, and he says very quietly, he just says, don't worry about them. I only see coin. And he says, with that, you don't have a mount with you. I'm assuming you're looking to acquire one.
I say it's good to see that there's men in this world that can see past the colours. Yeah.
Good.
The texture of one's skin.
Yeah. Feels weird saying that.
And you see, one of the Inuz looks over and he just says, "Watch your tongue," and goes back to like he kind of like looks between his friends and they kind of like, you know, with their arms folded, they kind of stood there slightly slit-eyed.
I am inside pleased that I've riled them up. And I say, how much are we talking for one of these steeds?
He says, "Well, I could sell you one of these smaller goats should it fit your needs for say 45, 50 gold. The larger ones they tend to cost a pretty penny. Some of the lesser dire goats can go for around 300 gold, but some of our finer ones go up to 2,000-3,000. And you see, as he does that, he gestures over to like at the far end of the thing area. There's a barn which is like you can see there's really fine fresh straw all over the place, and there's this massive kind of like 10-foot tall goat with these like great big curled horns and this like sort of like midnight black like sheened coat.
Okay.
What would fit your needs?
I'm ordering some chicken wings, by the way. Is there anything you want?
I would have some wings.
Well, I'm getting like a
Oh my
sharing
god,
thing.
Pudding, you absolute pest.
I'm getting a sharing thing we can all have.
That's why I turned it upside down.
Yeah.
He's found it.
Yeah.
Maybe stick it up on the thing.
It's a pain in the arse.
I'm getting it from here. Literally Wingstop round the corner. I'm just buying fucking some.
Do they have deloaded fries by chance?
You really like loaded fries.
Not really. That's alright, yeah. If I could have a couple of wings, that'd be fucking very much appreciated.
Yeah. Does anybody else want to get anyone?
Yeah, I'll either buy my own six or chip into a big one. Whatever you.
How big's the big one?
It says it's for one, but it's like they get 8 wings and then a few tenders and some chips.
Oh yeah, you want that.
So
I'll just guess.
If I could have a wing and half a tender, maybe. I'll just throw some cash at you.
Mate, that is fine.
I'm gonna
Or
get.
maybe you can pay me for lifting that fucking thing.
Fucking hell. I'm so fucking glad you helped me with that.
Oh, this was a good place.
That would have been probably impossible with Harriet, I think.
She would have really hurt herself. We would have had to get Tish to help, and even then, between the three of us, it would have been harder than just me and you doing it, you know?
Sucks to be
I've got to get that into the van on Friday night as well, which is going to be interesting. Going out to Wales. Then Tish's cousin is meeting me at the other end. He's a big boy.
Yes, what would suit your needs?
And I say, well, it's I've got no love for these mounts. Kind of saying it loud enough so that the guards hear. To me, they are.
By the way, you know these guys. If they're with the goats, they're the yeks on us.
Okay.
Do you want to do wings before you thing?
Can you just get me like some like Korean barbecue spicy or something?
They've got fucking
Korean
loads of
or
different
barbecue.
seasoning flavours. for
Spicy Korean.
You have to pick two.
Spicy Korean and mango No.
There's a load, isn't there?
Mango habanero. How's hot? Oh, fine. Hot? It's hot.
I don't think it's that hot.
Alright, mango habanero then.
I think you
Sounds
gotta do it.
delicious.
Ranch, blue cheese, or honey mustard? Sorry. Last thing.
Honey mustard.
He says, "Oh, don't say something like that.
Don't
These
say
are,
that sounds
great.
these are fine beasts. They deserve a bit of compassion."
And I say that may be. I'm sure that they've been raised extremely well. I'll take a simple mount for riding.
Sure. So you could probably make do with a regular goat, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
Dark goat, yeah.
Fantastic.
He says, in that case, Vex here may fit your needs. And he goes over and he strokes this goat, which is kind of like doesn't really react, just kind of goes. Nah.
Okay.
The intelligence of what, maybe 4?
Probably less, probably 2 or 2 or something.
Okay.
Says
More than a lick to.
says Vex here was raised by my own hand. She's a strong old girl, and you'll find that she won't be misbehaving too much.
Okay. And can I just ask, how are you planning to get around quickly? Like, do you have a spell or something?
I should walk. How we happen to?
Well, is this not to carry shit?
Well, yeah, to carry shit, but also to like move quickly and stuff like that. Like,
Well, we've always just managed walking, haven't we?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
I thought like the speed of travel and stuff and how long that
Well,
would.
when we get other party members, they're all gonna be walking as well. You can run around on a horse if you want.
It doesn't.
You just tuck the bin into the thing and
No,
Just tuck the bin bag under the lid. Nice.
I tend to say that the only time mounts improve moving speed is when you're in like a big rush.
Okay.
Otherwise it's kind of a static speed.
Okay, fine. Well, in that case, I say, those prices, fuck your mum, and walk off.
No.
Oh, we're not carrying.
No, I don't know.
Well, we need
I
something
thought
to
it was
carry
for moving stuff.
It's for
We're all gonna
carrying
be
excess
encumbered.
inventory.
Are we?
Yeah.
Like his Thrasher's gone now. He had a load of shit on him.
Oh, did he?
We can lose all the stuff off Thrasher, but it's like rope and grappling hooks and shit, and like tides, loot and crossbow and all that stuff.
But it's just that like when we're because it's not on our person, and in a dungeon we never take it in with us.
Where do we put it?
But also if you find
We haven't taken it in with us.
there's also a situation where if you find
Yeah.
cool shit in a dungeon and can't might struggle to carry it out for travel.
Yeah, fine.
Won't
Okay.
get out of the dungeon, but
Okay. Well, that's since I say it's this internal conflict. Actually, I'm sure your mother's a very lovely lady. I'd love to buy her dinner.
oh, she's a bitch.
Oh, thank goodness.
I'm fucking horrible.
How fortuitous that you feel that way.
She's got a right gunt on her.
Is this,
And I say, well then,
which apartment
a
is it?
decent pack mule will suffice
Flat
then.
3.
It's just flat 3.
Hey, Vexel, do
Flat
that
3,
just
9,
fine.
Caroline.
I say, so how much are you looking for this young, fine specimen?
I'd like to get 60 gold for the beast.
60? Well, didn't you just say that it was worth 45?
Aye, but Vex is a bit more stoic than the rest.
Alright, I'll take a non-stoic one.
Right? Well, in that case, Erlin will be fine. Can be a bit more temperamental, more likely to flee in danger.
Okay, can I just... Does it look like more ill or sick or
Is
anything?
between 45 and 60 gold?
Oh yeah, what am I doing? Fine. Yeah, fine. I'll have it.
He's
Like
just
2K.
He's just naturally an arsehole.
Yeah, I know, I
So
really
I
are.
was inviting a bartering opportunity.
Yeah, I know. I said 45. Yeah.
Well,
And then-
you were just
Yeah.
going to have a different go, but it's fine.
Alright,
We'll
alright.
do the 16 of Vex.
Fine.
It's a good old goat.
Yeah. All right.
So this is like, by the way, it's not like a goat that we know from like farms. It's like a mountain goat.
Sure.
So they look a bit cooler. They've got like the big
Beard,
manes and
horns
stuff.
and shit.
Yeah. You literally just type in mountain goat, you'll see what they look like. Mountain goat.
Goat mounting.
Yeah, it's nice to have nice music. And not just being like
Peaceful. I feel very peaceful.
yeah, peaceful.
Yeah, I
now.
feel like I've literally just had a little holiday.
Peaceful now that Elictu's not
I
constantly.
feel like I'm in
tormenting
Khazal's
us.
stone circle.
Cool. So we've got our mountain gate. So I've met back up with them, and I say, yeah, that place smelled like shit. I hated it.
I'd say, sure, yeah. So when you return, you returned, I'd say that as you return, if you're
What,
kind of stood around in like the market area, or like not market area, but like the centre of the area, you suddenly feel your back getting quite hot, Gash. And you're like, weird, and you like,
Dragos!
and you see he's nowhere to be seen, and then you take your pack off because it's getting like really like quite warm, and you like look through your pack, and you see that Orenthal's stone is like glowing, and you like take it out, and the second you touch it, you just hear, did somebody mention?
Did somebody say just eat? Sorry.
Did somebody mention a goat?
Seems we have acquired one. What does it do, master?
Is it for eating?
For you it can be.
Smushing it onto the gem.
Says, there are many worldly wants that I miss, and taste reigns supreme.
How may we ease this suffering of yours?
I fear that it is merely my lot now to never experience such fine things again. However, if I could live such things through one of you, I would be most appreciative.
Is it actually vocal, or is he sort of
No,
communicating?
yeah,
with you? Okay, cool. Because I'm like imagining me like poring over this gem, and I just turn to you guys, and I'm just like, he just wants a bit of goat.
Well, we got loads of bacon, mate.
As he says this, he says, we are no longer in the Red Spore Caverns. What brings us to Clockager?
Well, I'm sure as you may have sensed, we have lost two of our party to an Alhoon in a trashed drow settlement, and so we have come again to the surface to give them a proper burial.
He says, my regret for the loss spans deeper than you can possibly imagine. If I had been more present, perhaps I may have been able to contribute. He says, I've been lying dormant for some time, reaching out in any way I can, hoping to procure more allies on your quest. As an envoy of Bahamut, I believed it was my duty, but since awakening and sensing the loss, I have yearned to make contact and express my gratitude and consolation for your loss.
Yes, these two, especially considering what troubles I've had with my own family, they certainly have become mine, and losing them has hit me a lot harder than I would expect.
I sense your anguish, Gesh Goldskin. He says, he pauses for a moment, he says, my efforts, I believe, have not been in vain. However, one slight silver lining I hope we can glean from this. When the will of the gods is enacted on mortals, oftentimes loss is the result. He says, I am most tired now, but should you require my aid in battle, simply summon me and I shall do my best to assist in future. I will endeavour to be more alert.
Sorry, initial thought was it's a bit late, but well, thank you.
What Gesh feels like, he can love it.
Yeah, well, they are moving words, but too little, too late, I would say.
This is quite I will expend as much energy as I can, endeavouring to be more present. I thought I was done with this sort of loss, but I see that even as my body draws to a close, I cannot escape the gripping reality. Now, I will sleep. Thank you for heeding my words, Gesh.
Before you go, is there any further guidance that you may be able to provide for seeking out the Pale Scholar, or any other endeavours that we are inquested?
He says, my mind is ravished by anguish across the lands at present, and it is somewhat distracting. My reaching out has caused me to find much strife in the corners of the world. For now, I urge you to seek the aid of the Myconids. They know the caverns better than I.
Thank you.
With that, the gem kind of begins to fade. Yeah.
Has he suggested us seeking the Myconids before?
No, it seems
No.
like he's very sleepy, basically.
Yeah.
Got a bit of a Joe Biden situation on your hands.
Yeah. I'm sort of I'm envisioning not Bootstrap Bill. There's like another pirate that's like becomes part of the hull in
Wyvern.
One of the Pirates of the Caribbean.
That's Bootstrap, though.
Yeah.
No. There's one that's literally become part of the
to Bootstrap.
Yeah, it's not him though.
Oh, I see.
It's another one that literally he like is so much energy for him to wake up, and then he just goes back to sleep again, and he just becomes part of the ship again. It's only like a 30-second scene where he like wakes up to talk about the Kraken or something like that. And yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's the game plan?
So yeah, I'll just say to these two, Oren Thor has just spoken to me and prompted us to seek out the aid of the Myconids in the Red Spore Cavern. It seems that we must delve once more.
Do you know what Myconids are?
Make a. I'd say you're the only one who might. Can you make a nature, please?
22.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, so you know about the Myconids. They're these.
I'm blessing you.
They're these collections of sentient fungi people who communicate through telepathic spores.
Okay.
You may have come across them in your travels in the dark in the past, as they're not super rare down there.
Sure.
But yeah, you know as well that they're pretty they're one of the, in terms of all the races in the world, they're one of the closest you can get to pacifist as well. They're incredibly gentle.
Oh, okay, cool.
Alright. Well, yes, I suppose we've waylaid our responsibilities to Bahamut for quite a while. The cult still persists and I assume grows stronger every day. Maybe we should return to our initial goal.
Indeed. What say you, Enoch? Will you join us now, despite not being bound to us any longer?
I have few friends in this world anymore, and none in places that I can visit. Over the past few months, I've found a connection in this group, and I would be proud to assist you in this quest.
Well, good to hear it. I'm glad you see the importance of what we're trying to do.
With that, you guys buy some more rations and.
Can I also transcribe my spell scroll for web? I haven't done it for
Yeah,
ages.
sure, yeah.
Was that like 100 gold or something?
So what level's the spell?
Doesn't say here.
I think it's a second level spell.
I think it is too, but just check in. Yeah, second.
Yeah, so it's 2 hours and 50 gold per spell level,
Alright, 100 gold.
and 4 hours of the time. You could say you maybe did that with Havar or something.
Sure, I assume you've been here for a little while.
Nice. So we'll say that you guys, you guys spend a night. I mean, like, would you? It's probably, to be honest, around here it's probably quite hard to actually like acquire a bed. So it'd be like comfortable camping, but you could probably procure a bed if you like super keen on it, sort of thing.
Would we need to reduce our exhaustion?
I'd say in this safe environment you'd be able to camp and reduce exhaustion. I'd say you've probably reduced it just by being here already. So
Sure.
I'm gonna lay down like a plat, like an innkeep, and just be like, I want the best room you have.
Sure, yeah. You get set up in some fine days.
Yeah.
You find that like the room's full of like nice scented herbs and things, and it's like very.
Enoch has a bath.
There must be some kind of like temporary buff that you can get from having having like a really really fucking lovely stay somewhere.
Yeah, very nice.
No, I mean it's not for me because Gesh would never do it. I'm talking about.
Yeah, you can well play it.
I wanted to live lavishly, you know.
He's probably feeling pretty good about stuff.
Yeah. You
Okay, fine.
fucking reek, Gesh. My clothes have just been washed and like freshly pressed and like, you know.
Oh yeah, my breeches have only just stopped
Unsoiled.
smelling of soil. Of my own.
Soil, dragon soil.
Manfire.
I've been dunking all my clothes in. They're all fucking well.
Yeah, they're arcane. Well,
Soggy cape.
Yeah,
you could probably buy some enchanted water here.
Yeah, some elemental water. Yeah, okay.
Elemental water, sorry, yeah. Probably quite expensive.
Being clean is of no interest to Gesh because when I'm hunting or out in the wild, if I'm fragrant and smell of perfume or nice cologne or whatever, I'm gonna be
You could probably buy some elemental water for maybe like, I don't know how much to be honest. For now, I might wreck on this, but for now I'm going to say 500 gold.
okay. Yeah, cool.
So you can do that if you want to.
Yeah, I mean I'm not spending my money on anything else, so yeah, cool.
Sure. Nice. Do you want to do a quick alchemy before we go?
Yeah,
Do some
let
checks?
me just
I'd say so. As you guys are you maybe buying a few more rations and things, and sticking them on Vex and any other bits of rope and baggage you can on these packs on the go.
Oh, can I also, sorry while we're here, spend some time trying to figure out how to use this horn, or maybe asking, like, visit Hardvar?
The bar, yeah.
Hardvar, see if he knows anything.
Yeah, says, you see he takes it and I'll tell you what, yeah, I'd say, you've, he says, Dorwin, it appears you've come across some kind of long-range communication device here. Have you tried using it at all?
Can I do that thing where I spend an hour and try some stuff, or?
It's just like roleplay stuff, really.
Sure.
Yeah.
Because, okay, so if I was doing that, I probably would have tried like speaking into it, filling it with water, maybe like trying to.
As in you've been doing stuff in the past?
No.
Oh, like now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just say like, because I probably would have like had a go at doing it, like have a play with it before I went to him, and these are the things I would have tried.
Okay. Oh no. So there's like if there's things you try, we can like run well with that, like prior to seeing Havar if you want.
Sure. Yeah, I would have.
Okay. Sure. Yeah. We'll say you maybe like online. You think, I finally got some time to like
Yeah.
to explore this thing.
Oh yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. So I'll say that you maybe find like a quiet corner, like in a little patch of like wooded area or something where you're kind of shady and things, and you're messing around. You're like doing different things, and then after a minute you try taking it and like just talking into it.
Oh. Yeah.
And you find that it kind of
Hello? Yeah, Sharon. Oh, mate.
you find that as you're there in this area, just like talking very directly into it in a specific way that you're holding it. You find some of the runes like glow ever so faintly, and you just hear immediately coming out of it. You just hear, Zarlex, you have missed many of our appointments. Why now do you come to me? Is it to grovel? For you must certainly, that's your best bet at getting out of this with the skin of your teeth.
Who's Zaulex?
Who holds this device?
Not Zaulex anymore, I'm afraid.
This explains the missing person. He says, well, at least, if you were to acquire such a thing, I don't doubt he has seen his demise.
Unfortunately, he wasn't able to make it out alive, yes.
A worthy fate for such a fool to allow to allow this to occur.
He was always a bit of a blockhead.
Tell me now, what is your name? Where do you hail from?
My name is Maldek. I am friends with Zaralex. I live under the command of our great leader, Crodratek.
Do not speak that name in my presence.
Terribly sorry.
Check.
Deception.
Yeah.
3.
You do not fool me. You will expect to hear from me more in the future. Says for now, I eagerly await our meeting for you to feel my wrath and your inevitable demise.
Okay, I'll see you then.
I'll be waiting.
Waiting where?
You find that the glow of the horn slowly fades.
Oh, lordy. Okay. Cool.
Go in, puts the horn down, walks away.
Buries it. No, you hang up.
Oh, they hung up.
Nice.
Okay, freaky. So they... But I don't know if that was more of like a Voldemort's so powerful, don't say Voldemort, or if he's like, this guy hates Crodratek.
Make an insight.
That's funny.
Nat 20?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you very much get the impression that it's not that this guy hates him,
Okay.
it's that he
It's,
ultimately reveres him
okay, fine.
to a
Voldemort's
god
not
level
real.
status.
Okay.
Pudding's outside a car outside.
It's alright.
It's alright.
But he's outside,
Yeah.
on the street.
Yeah.
He chills outside all
He
the
chills
time.
outside all the time.
How does he get back in?
He doesn't, he sits by the door eventually, so we go down every 10
Alright.
minutes and check.
Cool.
And he'll be outside at one point.
Okay, fine.
Pretty much next time we go outside.
First time he lost him, he's stressed, and he just turned up, and then he's gone out a couple of times since, and he usually just hangs around a couple of cars in front of us,
Or in the
goes down the
courtyard.
side into the courtyard, and then sits by the door. We'll just keep checking every now and then.
Alright.
I'm not worried.
It's fine. There's no major roads around here.
Sure. Nice.
Yeah.
Wings, sides, fries, repeat. Sick. It's probably Korean and...
Just missed an interesting development.
Oh yeah.
You say, shall we do sort of food and then do some stuff?
Yeah, we can...
Divvy it out.
Yeah, I have no idea which one's which, by the way.
We shall find out.
Oh, tendies.
Yeah, they're mine. It'd be nice if there was some kind of label on them, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Did anyone get some wings that don't seem to have much of a...
Yeah, I had
coating?
lemon and
Ah, okay.
There's one of
lemon and
them.
something. That'll probably be that one.
and then I got Korean, spicy Korean.
Yeah, that's got both in.
But
That looks like really hot and
well, that might be.
thingy.
It. And then
You
there's
had-
some chips.
Yeah, I assume this.
Yeah, nice.
Korean.
Yeah, of course, mate.
I think this will be the mango habanero.
Yeah.
Pretty sure.
Very sticky, so.
There's also
Is that
some
on there?
ranch for someone.
Yeah, nice.
Let's put more in. You can. Oh, there should be.
Oh no, I already gave him the ranch. That one's my ranch.
No, you had honey mustard.
Yeah, that's the honey mustard there.
Fine.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Right, talk to me. What happened?
Well, we'll say that like
Yeah.
as you guys are packing your stuff, you see.
Ooh, spicy. By the way, guys, I was having a play around with the divination horn.
Ooh.
I ended up trying to speak to it as I sensed it could be to do with communication.
While you're eating your chicken wings.
And I was
Chowing down a bit of thrasher.
and I was contacted by someone. Their name was
You can get their name.
oh no, contacted by someone who was expecting to talk to
Zarex.
Zarex, who I can only assume is one of the cult members we took out in Orenthor's tomb, where we found the horn. He seemed very angry and figured out that when he figured out that I wasn't him, he seemed furious and in fact threatened me that when we next meet, he'll kill me.
Sorry. Yeah, did you hear that, Gesh?
So I couldn't get any more information before he left, but I hope he doesn't know where we are. And but for now, I hope we're safe. We are all under the non-detection spell, so I don't think we're in any
Who's
imminent
casting that,
danger.
by the way?
Me,
Yeah, yeah.
but just something to be wary of, I suppose.
Oh, good. Adding to the list of people that want to kill us. Fantastic.
So it seems to be tied into this dude. I can't like reprogram it. Maybe.
And this is a horn. Or you just try and blow it?
No, I like spoke into it.
Oh.
Oh, this was the magic trumpet, was it?
The magic trumpet.
Did you try and have an interaction with it before? You like put some fucking beer in it or something like that?
No, we were gonna when we were trying to find a lick to, but then we would like figured out where he was probably. Could I? Yeah, shall I ask had
Shit.
Havar about this?
Sorry?
Shall I ask Havar about this?
If you'd like to.
Yeah, I want to see if I can not have to torture this guy anymore.
Ah, Owen. It's good to see you, my boy.
Hello, Havar. I come with a problem.
Is this relating to your important quest?
Not directly, no. But during that quest, I found this.
Oh, lad, what's more important what can possibly be more important than learning all the arcane secrets the world has to offer?
Yeah, well, you know, the fate of all living beings, I suppose.
Oh, one of those type of important quests.
Yes. Well, anyway, it would be very useful if you could share anything you might know about this horn I found. I noticed it was I sensed divination magic on it. Well, Lictu did. And I recently tried to use it and was put in contact with someone seemingly not very pleasant. I was wondering if you know anything about these type of objects.
I see, he takes it and says, yes. See these fine runes here?
Yes.
They, you can think of this as a one-way link to another one who holds a horn of similar design.
I see. So,
We've used similar things throughout our wars. Although I must say, this one is finely crafted, although not how I would have gone about it.
right, so they are crafted in tandem with one another.
Quite so.
Okay. Fair enough. Well, I suppose there's no repurposing this for our own use at the moment.
It would be quite a project. As I say, this one's finely crafted. But with enough time and resources, well, anything's possible.
And if we were to find its matching pair, we would be able to use it.
Oh yes, although they can be complex in craft, the use of such devices is astoundingly simple.
Yes, I very quickly found out how to use it. All right, well, thank you for your insight. We may be leaving now, so I won't see you for a while. But when I'm next
That's a
in,
bit of a runny nose there.
it's these atomic wings.
This is atomic matter. Gesh put some weird mountain spices on him. He says, I was going to send Druven for you before you left, but since you're here, take this. And he hands you this like fine piece of parchment.
Yeah.
And you look at it. Before you look at it, he says, I'll leave it as a wee puzzle for you to crack. And when you figure it out, I'm sure it will be of use.
Interesting. I do like puzzles. I'll give it my best shot.
Just don't lose this, or at the very least, inscribe it as accurately as possible as you can into your spellbook.
Very well. Bye.
See ya. Have a safe journey, little one, he says as you leave. Nice. Cool. Back to Red Spore.
Yeah.
Back to Red Spore.
Up we go.
What does a potion of invulnerability do? Is it basically literally just means that you don't have any weaknesses?
I'll find out.
Which one do you prefer?
Korean.
Do you want to swap a Korean for a mango?
Sure.
For 1 minute after you drink this potion, you have resistance to all damage.
So it just means all damage is halved.
Oh, sorry, I put it in your mango side. Don't worry.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Resistance to what, sorry?
Thank you. Oops.
Potion of invulnerability.
And what are you invulnerable to?
Everything for
Like,
1 minute.
Status
1
effects.
minute.
Oh no, everything. All damage.
All damage is halved
Oh,
for a
holy
minute.
shit. Oh, halved. Sick.
That's pretty lit.
How
Okay,
long?
cool. I just crafted a potion of invulnerability. Fucking yeah, baby. I mean, it cost me 500 gold, but that's still pretty sick.
Yeah.
Definitely worth it.
Yeah.
That could be clutch.
Definitely worth it.
So, let me just get something real quick.
How many uses can you get by applying potion to a weapon? Is it 3? So you could apply it to your arrows and shoot all of us.
You take 9 damage,
Half.
but it's half.
Immediately. So I have
That's a broken mechanic.
oh yeah. Let me just quickly grab my book. Let me just check something.
So how far through the Red Spore are we? Like back to where we were, or like we?
What do you mean?
Just leaving now, right?
Yeah. Indeed.
So we have to get back there.
I just need to do something though.
Roll for initiative.
Oh, jeez.
That'll be a yes.
Can I have a chip, please, Ali?
Oh, fucking hell. Yeah.
Oh, no, it's alright. They're your last ones.
Mate, finish them.
Alright.
Let me just go for a while.
How are your wings?
Yeah, pretty good.
Have you ever got them from here before?
Yeah, once. Hayden ordered, and we got in on it.
Just had a fucking craving for wings, so I was just straight on Deliveroo. It was right at the top.
Nice, yeah. There are loads of good late night wing places here.
Mm.
So, as you guys set off on your travels, restocked and feeling a bit more positive after having like a nice little stay and a few nice warm drinks and some cold drinks too, you're ready to depart. And as you're let me get out my map here. Yeah. So as you leave Cockaduro and begin making your way southward back towards the Red Spore Caverns, you find on your second day of travel, you're walking a little bit along the path, and Enoch, you receive an alert from Corvax
Okay.
that there's basically some danger ahead blocking the path, and you don't know what it is, but you know there's something there.
Okay. And is this quite mountainous terrain where we are? Yeah, fine. Okay. And is it kind of like we're walking along like the side of a mountain like that, or is it kind of more like
Yeah, so there's a bit of a mix. The paths here are still fairly well kept, but you find that. Let me just get something up here. Sorry. Yeah. So you see that there's so you're kind of at the moment. It's a fairly wide path. On your left side, there's quite like a shaly drop, and on your right, there's kind of various like rocky mountain terrain, which kind of goes up into a further mountain. You see, it's almost as though any debris and shale which would fall off the mountain is kind of like moved off the path down to like fall down further.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're kind of going along this like mountain path, pretty wide path. I'd say maybe like more of a road. It's a good like 20 feet across.
And is it a V like that, or is it kind of like?
No, so the other mountains are
it's
like
a long way away.
Quite a while
Yeah,
way
fine.
away.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool. So I see Corvax. He comes down and like lands on the top of my walking cane that I've got, and starts tapping the ruby on its that it's inset with. He and after a moment of sort of unspoken communication, I turn to Dorwin and Gesh and say, boys, there's some trouble ahead. I'm not sure what it is exactly, but we should be on our guard.
With it being a favourite terrain of mine, can I like try and make a point of scouting and seeing what I can see?
Yeah, I'd say you could make a stealth with advantage and try to scout ahead a
I
little
can
bit.
also scout ahead with Corvax. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, the magpie can just fly off and gain more information if you want.
Stealth, I've 31.
What?
I got, 'cause my proficiency bonus is doubled in my favourite terrain, and I'm proficient in.
What did you roll?
No, sorry. I rolled a fucking survival. Fuck's sake, I pressed the wrong one.
Well, take the dice roll you got and then add on your
25, because I got a 19.
Nice.
Plus 6.
Okay, so you sort of say, "Oh, I was got ahead," sort of thing, yeah.
Well, yeah, because I assumed I would be, being in the scales and with it being favourite terrain of mine. I assume I would be sort of
Yeah.
sort of scouting ahead and leading.
We always say you do that anyway, don't you?
Yeah. when
So
we're above ground.
following this path around, you kind of like hugging the wall and like navigating through some of the rockier terrain with indescribable ease, just passing through it as though it's nothing. You're like cautiously stepping, not making a sound, not brushing any vegetation where you shouldn't, and you kind of go around. There's a sharpish bend, and you kind of get low on this like slightly elevated area of rock, and look down, and you see these 3 incredibly large human-shaped beasts, and they're kind of shouting at each other, and they're arguing, and they're pulling apart this human shape. As you look a bit closer, you see that it appears to be 3 cyclopses arguing over the last few bites of a dragonborn tribesman that they've slain and are wanting to eat. And they're kind of like pulling at his limbs. You see he's kind of like his dead body is kind of like breaking at the seams.
He's clearly fucking dead though.
Oh yeah, he's long
Yeah.
dead.
Okay.
And you see that they're speaking this language that, I mean, you'd recognise it as giant, but you can't understand. I don't think you speak giant, can you? They're kind of like, like that, and these stupid beasts are damaging their goods. Yeah. So yeah, what would you like to do with that?
Could I sort of turn and gesture to Enoch to come and join me and look as well?
Do you want to make a stealthy knock?
Yep. So yeah.
I sort of like gesture to say to, no noise, but scout up.
Thank God for advantage. 21, 22.
Nice. Yeah. What? Why do you have advantage?
Oh wait, no, that's only in dim light. No, just 13 then.
Okay, that's still okay.
Yeah, fine.
Yeah, you find Enoch as he's like coming over. He does like he like you see him like slip slightly, but he's able to kind of like grab this stone before it makes any noise, and then he kind of like softly places it down and like sort of like sculpts up to you and like turns to you initially, about to ask you, but then sees this scene as well. Did you hear what I described to? Yeah, nice. Yeah, see, yeah.
Yeah. And so you've seen it, and then maybe I say sort of gesture back and sort of come back to Dorwin and just quietly explain the situation. Well, I'd say I'll
go on then.
go back to 3 rather fucking massive big boys there. 3 of them ripping apart Dragonborn clansmen. I don't know what to do. After our previous altercation, I wonder whether we try and skirt round them. There's nothing we can do for him.
I certainly vote avoid conflict wherever possible.
Well, if that's the will of the party, I might like to hunt for some sport following a loss.
How big are they?
Yeah,
They
how
say
mean?
big.
How mean do they look? Like,
How tall are they?
They're about
how
20
wide?
foot tall,
Okay.
and they're like fucking buff boys. They look like bodybuilders. They're massive.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'm less keen on that then.
Generally pretty.
I
fucking
heard a
hench.
tale from a Ganassi who fought a giant, and it was very hard, even though the giant they fought was wounded initially too. This might be a challenge for just 3 of us.
That settles it then. On we go. And can I say I cast Pass Without Trace on us, and we make a point.
Take a long route round.
Take a long route round, yeah.
Nice. So, you cast Pass Without Trace, and for you, it's like, it just, although stealthing for you is so easy, it's just kind of like nice knowing that you don't have to worry about like your tentative, which you don't anyway.
I'm
but it's
trying
like-
to be loud. I'm like kicking rocks and stuff.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, it's like
seeing how
everything's-
quiet they are.
Everything's been covered in like
Every-
a thick blanket, and you're just kicking it. And it makes no sound.
Every rock
whatsoever.
you hit just like lands on a leaf, rolls into the leaf, and pops
Yeah,
into like a
everything's
puddle.
like quite coincidental. Like works out very nicely. I like that. Yeah, so you guys are able. So give me your stealth checks with the +10.
And advantage because we're doing it together.
No, I did not do advantage on stealth.
Is it rocky terrain?
Yes.
27.
30.
31.
Nice.
He's sneaking out, boy.
So, yeah,
He says that out loud and alerts the
Yeah,
Cyclopses.
yeah.
They're like, "Oh."
So you say, yeah, so with Gesh leading the way, like showing you like the best route to take through the slightly tricky mountainous terrain, you guys maybe take another hour just to be extra safe, and very, very quietly you're able to navigate your way around this hairy situation, and you kind of like make your way back down onto the path after a little while, and you know, hoping that the you know, surely the Unnerves will deal with that so close to their territory. And with that, you rejoin the path, having skirted the danger, and begin making your way back over along down the path, which slowly gets more and more decrepit and less maintained. And before long, you're back in the more hairy territories of the scales. And remembering your previous path and ways you could make it, you know, improve it in any way, you, using the knowledge that you've gleaned, you're able to quite safely navigate your way back to the Red Spore Caverns, and you know, you take your final gulps of fresh air before heading in, while Dorwin kind of scampers off ahead, keen to get back into this mushroom haven. And with that, spooky shift.
Roll for initiative.
Well, initiative.
Hey Google,
Gaze casting.
make the lights red.
Ooh, into the Red Spore Caverns we go. Nice. So, back into the treacherous world of the Cavern of the Gates, the Red Spore Caverns. You guys make your way down
on the right.
You guys make your way down the now frustratingly familiar path down through the cavern before breaching into the glowing red haven that awaits. Arriving now, equipped with a map and new knowledge of these lands, and with new direction to head towards one of these Myconid colonies, you enter the cave with renewed vigour, knowing that you've got more direction.
I sort of snap my dark vision goggles on.
Yeah, very nice. You see that the whole time Vex is calmly trotting along. You see that any opportunities Vex gets, he likes to sort of get on a bit of high ground and stomp around, you know, on any rocks he can.
How big is
Or
Vex?
she can. Just type, literally, if you type in mountain goat on Google Images.
We call them Vex.
That's it. Well, that's the name.
That's the name it was given.
Yeah. You can see what a mountain goat looks like and how big they are, and also how fucking sick they are at climbing and shit. Oh no, not
What do you
5e.
mean? Oh no, not just. Oh right.
mountain
Oh
goat.
no, what a mountain goat looks like. Yeah.
Yeah, but I want to see a specific picture.
Okay.
Look at that motherfucker.
Oh fucking hell.
Do you want to see, James?
Yeah.
Cool.
Idexy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, so you guys progress. Are you and are we? Do we want to head down to what on your map is written as Oldenary Sovereign?
Oldenary Sovereign. Is that the
It's marked as a
settlement?
Myconid colony.
As a Myconid colony. Okay. Then yes, I guess we do. If Arenthor told us to seek out the Myconids.
Yep. Head towards there. Got the vape alley. Oh, nice.
Okay. So I tell you what. Just because this is like a more chill session, I'll roll for a random encounter. Just because it's like time to kill everything. No random encounter. You guys make your way through the caverns, seeing, like, now that you are a bit more familiar with it, you're kind of a bit more willing to kind of like look around a bit, and some of the noises that were disturbing before, you've learned kind of which ones are more peaceful and which ones are more threatening. As you're travelling through the dark, at one point when you've set up camp one evening on your way to the Oldenary Sovereign, you notice this kind of long white sort of strand of goo which seems to be dripping all the way from a cabin ceiling, which from say you guys were close to the wall, kind of staying off the path when you were setting up camp. It's probably the roof of the cabin at this point looks about sort of 60-70 feet up. And yeah, there's this kind of gross white strand which is just kind of like paint, like waiting nearby.
Coming down from nothingness,
It's
or
just
from the
it's just
ceiling.
present. It's coming from the ceiling. You can't see
Sure.
exactly where it's coming from.
Are
It's
there
quite
any
far away.
other sort of little strands?
Can't see any others.
Just one.
Just one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And what do you say? There's liquid sort of running down it, or is it
It
just
kind of looks like this sort of like just like gooey, like silky strand.
Okay. Does it look magical to Dorwin?
Do you want to do? Dawn can make an Arcana check if he wants.
Yeah, sure. See if it's spell created. 18.
Okay, so it doesn't appear to be magical, no.
Okay. I might just stealth and start just climbing up the wall just to have a little look at it if we're setting up camp here for the night, just a little closer inspect.
Mm-hmm. So
Vex tries to follow you.
21
21 what?
stealth.
Oh, stealth. Okay, sure. Yeah. So you approach it very very quietly, and you see that as you approach it, it doesn't move or interact in any way as you get a bit close. Obviously, with stealth. And getting a bit closer, it kind of like reaffirms my description.
Yeah.
It's kind of gross, like kind of organic, like blob of
Can you
silk.
see how it's attached to the
You
ceiling?
can't see the ceiling, but you could go up if you want to. You've obviously got your boots, haven't you?
Yeah. I'm gonna climb the wall.
Mm-hmm. So as you stride up the wall, quite leisurely, probably stealthing your way, I imagine. With that good stealth, you're able to get to a point where you see the source of the silk, and you see this kind of on the ceiling. There's this sort of pale white, sort of like crustacean-y, spider-like creature, which has these very large pincers and this grotesque, malformed insectoid face. From its little undulating mandibles, which kind of twitch and click, is this string of silk kind of out of its mouth, which is dropping all the way down to the floor of the cabin. It doesn't.
And how big is it?
It's about the like size of a dude.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pretty fucking heavy then.
Big bug.
Big bird.
Okay. And it's coming from its mouth. And is it aware and looking at us?
It's kind of hard to tell. It's like very, insects are very unhuman. It's kind of hard to tell exactly what they're thinking or looking.
Okay.
You said we're setting up camp.
Yeah, apparently so.
Nearby. Well,
You've
you
just
set
seen
up the
this.
camp, and then after
Yeah.
you set up,
We
walking
saw
around a
this
bit,
thing.
you've kind of spotted this thing.
Oh, okay. Okay. So it's not in our way or anything.
No, but it's near the camp, and it's a big fucking spider.
Okay, so what are you gonna do?
Well, so I'm gonna reach out to Dawn and Gesh in my mind, and I'm gonna say, that big blob of white,
Shit.
silky gunk.
big blob of white hanging from the ceiling. It's actually a giant spider's web.
What is it?
But it's more like I'd say it's actually closer to like a crab or a scorpion.
Oh right.
Kind of like 8-legged stuck to the ceiling.
Okay.
Big pincers.
All right.
Yeah. It's not the thing you pinch, by the way.
Okay.
Sorry,
Fine.
sorry.
Come on.
Sorry, mate. Yeah.
There's a pretty big crustacean on the reef over here. We're gonna have to keep pretty tight watch at night for it, in case it decides it's peckish.
I click my amulet and turn into a beyond black dragon. Maybe it wise that we move on. We do not settle here for the night. And what is night in this place? It's always dark.
I agree.
Joy's like, I know what time it is.
Gnomes don't really have the concept of time.
Yeah, yeah.
Deep names.
Actually, no.
Time is a social construct.
I'd never know what time it is even above ground.
Yeah. Nice. Okay, so you guys are deciding to like sort of pack up camp and move somewhere else.
I think so, yeah.
100.
Can you each give me a Constitution save? It's a pretty low save. Do you see I'm looking for here?
Well, that's just as well because I got a 6.
That one.
That one.
Oh no! Did you-
5.
So with the moving, like you were just settling down and like you're kind of pissed off that you had to do this. So you each suffer 1 point of exhaustion. You get 2.
Sick.
As you have to like, you know, put off some sleep to have to arrange and find a new spot. Especially since I imagine after seeing that gross thing, you're wanting to find somewhere extra safe too.
So we spend more time, yeah.
Nice. Okay. Yeah. So you set up a nice little camp and are able to have a decent kit. All taking turns on watch.
Is there any way to taking turns on watch? Oh, if we did that, why didn't we just stay where we were? I thought we were moving so we wouldn't have to keep watch.
No,
You've always got to keep watch. It's just a given. You still get your rest and everything.
Oh, why do we move then?
We have no more tiny hut.
Have someone wait. Someone stay awake.
That is actually what I said.
Yeah.
What in case it attacks us?
Yeah.
We might as well try and find somewhere safe.
It does seem to me that camping next to the thing that might eat you is sensible compared with camping far.
Yeah. All right. Guess we'll take the exhaustion.
Well, we've done it now,
and
so
stay awake.
we've
Yeah.
done it and rolled for it. So it's like it's a
yeah.
bit cheesy retconning it back, isn't it?
Yeah, I didn't realise we were gonna have someone watching.
It does also kind of make sense. Like if you're on watch and there's a thing there, like no one's gonna have a pleasant sleep.
Yeah,
right now,
fuck
there's
that.
a
I'll
thing.
fucking vote get away from it as much as we can.
Alright. We'll just be exhausted.
Because it is kind of but you know you won't necessarily like you as individuals in game might not have anticipated exhaustion. You might not have realised you were going to feel so shit with an @1 kind of thing.
Yeah, that's fine.
So yeah, you set up another camp, and then the following day you all awake, kind of like looking over your shoulder slightly, but you know glad that you were able to evade any potential conflict.
Sorry, is there any way to get rid of exhaustion while you're in like a dungeon like this?
Yeah, just sit around all day, have a day of.
Yeah, if you like
Doing nothing.
dedicated like a day to a long rest kind of thing, then that'd be okay. But also like you know, I you don't necessarily know what's waiting, but if you're also anticipating a pacifist community to spend some time in, you'd be able to recover exhaustion.
True.
Oh yeah.
And within the following day, so I can just show you on the map if you want. So the following day, you're able to get down to the Ordinary Sovereign, which is here. You see, the Ordinary Sovereign is basically a kind of the cave wall kind of extends down on a like moderately steep slope, but there's like kind of like these very elusive pathways kind of through the through this cliffy path, this cliffy face. But kind of drenched over the whole side of the of this cliffy face is just cliff face, I guess.
Cliffy face.
Basically, wave face.
Cliff-like face.
Cliffy face. Are a plethora of just beautifully coloured mushrooms just all over the place. Nothing like these red ones that you've seen elsewhere. Some of them are slightly luminescent, none of them as much as the red ones. But you see there's like, you know, I mean, you guys kind of see everything in a bit of grayscale, but you can tell that there's like a much wider range of coloration.
If I was to take the goggles off, would I be able to make out some
it would be
colours?
pretty, like, if you took your goggles off, you'd see that even with your goggles on, some of the dull bioluminescent mushrooms would shed a bit of light, and the light that you'd see that spreads over some of the other fungi is there's like blues and greens and like, you know, much more like mellow kind of natural colours. It's not like a dominated scene like the rest of the Reservoir Caverns. And as you begin to approach as well, you notice that there's this kind of hazy smog in the air too. And a lot of it, like when you see it like lit up around the fungi, although they cast different coloured lights into the smog, which affects the colour, you'd imagine it's a sort of greenish, yellowish haze. And as you get a little bit closer, perhaps Dorwin, you've maybe encountered these before, and you are willing to go up and you take a few deep breaths of this smog, and you invite the others to do so too, and maybe you're hesitant or not. I'm not sure.
No, well, learning that obviously this race is that we're seeking in this what would you call it, a stronghold, whatever, are such pacifists. We sort of Gesh anticipates it to be a safe space, and seeing Dorwin, you know, feeling quite at ease as well. I'll also step forward and make my way inwards.
You when you do start hearing this stuff, you immediately your kind of senses and mind are connected to this what feels like a network of different subtle voices and what is it?
Different network of mushrooms.
Hey?
Different network of mushrooms.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. It really is, and like initially it's hard to like single out any one voice as there's kind of like dull whispers and murmurs, and then you just hear this more dominating voice of just visitors in our sovereign. I expect you mean no ill will.
The opposite, actually.
Of course not. We bear no peril to the Myconid kind.
Very well. You sound like a trustworthy sort. Head in. My name is Gul'dop. Seek me atop the cliff face. And as you kind of like walk into this like cliff face, this like mushroomy cliff face, looking around, you see that some of the fungi, which just appear to be part of the scenery, occasionally you see like a bit of movement, and you see these sort of humanoid hands and faces pop up of like various mushroom forms. Their faces, like, you know, they do sort of have eyes and mouths and things, but they're often in weird places, and they've all got different structures. Some of them have kind of like bract fungi like sticking out of them, and some of them are more typical toadstool types, and they'll kind of like creep up and kind of watch you as you cautiously like walk your way up through this mushroom path.
I'm imagining a few times we like brush past the mushroom and it like gets up and
Yeah,
walks
yeah.
off.
Yeah, occasionally there's like really little ones, and some of them are like really big and like kind of like peer down at you as you
There's
walk
a couple
over.
like scattering away from our feet as we take a step.
Yeah. It's just a plethora of
Shapes and
animated
sizes.
mushroom life.
Yeah.
See one really giant mushroom with like an old ass face, like
Yeah, like a beard of just like slime mold,
Yeah.
just like kind of down its body. Yeah, and as you realise more and more that like loads of the structures you're looking at are just individuals, and you make your way up to this point, and the whole time as you're getting closer and closer to Gul'dop, the other voices get louder and louder, and then you start to twinge into sounds that sound like children laughing and playing, and then there's other people, and in fact this is deserving of and there's also like the occasional somebody getting told off, and it's all very human. You make your way up this path, and as the further you go, you start to see like structures, seem to be like little houses, kind of very naturally constructed out of mushrooms that very much blend into the scenery if you weren't looking for them. And you kind of know the way to go because of these spores. They're kind of like they're sort of directing you. It's all very much a vibe, rather than anything.
the like faint voices get a little bit more like angry and upset when you go the wrong way.
Yeah,
That's like,
yeah,
more
that
like
kind of-
relieving sounds as you head the right
Yeah,
direction. and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah. You see that Dorwin, like you kind of accidentally tap into each other's thoughts a little bit as well, like just surface level thoughts. You'd maybe sense that like Dorwin has probably a sense of nostalgia, as I imagine these communities would probably be they were like some of his only safe spaces when he was going through his more perilous points in his life, and it makes you two feel more settled as well. Are there any, just for roleplay, are there any surface thoughts popping around that the others might detect?
They do smell rather odd. These mushroomy people. And like a few tiny little, I don't know, I'm assuming like the kids and the children and the infants are like really, really small, and like maybe a couple of them are like getting underfoot and they're like playing in the street and stuff, and I'm like massive of a race, they're still a pest. And I sort of,
Whoa.
still, I'm only thinking.
Yeah.
It's just as I say, it's a thought. It's not something.
How are
that
the
I say.
children mushrooms reacting to you on the foot?
Well, there you go.
Is there? Are we getting any service level thoughts from Enoch, or are you a bit more guarded because you're a bit more attuned to the mental contact in general?
Yeah, I mean, this is, you know, the thought, the presence isn't. Obviously, the mushrooms are
A new experience.
a new experience. Yeah, and Enoch is Enoch finds them quite comical, as in finds their existence, like the sort of the punchline, like how you start a joke kind of thing.
Yeah. Especially in like such a dark place.
Yeah.
To have this like sort of relief is a bit funny. And so after a while, you approach this much larger mushroom structure. It's kind of like a bluish green like draping. There's a lot of pinks and reds as well coming through. And you see there's this kind of like, it kind of falls down to one side, and at the base of this very, very large kind of homogeneous mushroom structure is this little archway. And as you step through, you see that there's a lot more, as you walk in, there's a lot of individuals who are stood a lot less discreetly, kind of proudly. Some of them are holding this quite rudimentary like weapons, but they're very, very unthreatening, and they look
What
like
kind of weapons are they holding?
it's mostly like spears, and a lot of them have these kind of more like rigid mushroomy shields and that kind of thing.
So are they are they
clubs as well.
mushroomy shields? Does that mean they use themselves to make the shields?
Yeah, I mean, you don't know really what the process is.
Well, look, okay.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's loads of non-myconid mushrooms.
Oh, okay. Yeah, true.
And at the very far end of
Seems
this
very
room is this enormous kind of just this huge structure. It's maybe 20 feet kind of round thing, and you see it's got this large mushroomy bearded face. It's got loads of mushrooms growing out of it, very distinct toadstools, and you see it's kind of got these puffball shaped mushrooms which occasionally just kind of like crack open, and these spores which you're inhaling just kind of like pour out, and you seem to like pour out. This room as well is very dense with these spory mushrooms, and the telekinetic force is very present here.
Is the smog a particular colour, or a taste or smell?
Yeah, so it's quite. There's
mushroomy.
There's some like dull, like bluish, glowing mushroom lights in this sort of room, and it makes the spores slightly bluish around the lights themselves, but they're kind of like greenish yellow in general. But as I say, it's still quite dark overall. This massive structure which seems to be fully kind of immobile and just built into the building itself, just says, a face to the name, and you see it kind of like develops this wide, very jolly grin as the mushrooms kind of bend into shape around its face. It says, it is rare that those that are not myconids themselves are welcome and find peace in such a place. I'm sure you're not here without reason.
Correct. We come seeking your aid.
And what aid would that be? I would say as well, can you all just make insight checks individually?
18.
Nat 20.
Nat 20. Nice. So you'd be...
I understand mushrooms like crazy.
I have no fucking clue what's going on.
Yeah.
Now one.
You're like, why is there no shit to steal? You find your connection.
Why is this empty room talking to us?
You find your connection kind of like falters sometimes, and like you're getting broken conversation here and there. It's kind of like a bit weird.
Maybe I'm trying to maybe my like psychic barriers are kind of like resisting
You've got some
of
like
the
instinctive,
yeah.
Instinctive defenses.
And can Gesh sort of step forwards and steps.
So I've got something to say. First.
Oh no, sorry.
So with like Dorwin, Big Check, you very much.
Oh yeah.
From your experience with myconids in the past, is they, because of the way these spores operate and stuff, they probably know exactly what you're thinking in general. Yeah.
Fine. Gesh.
All I was going to say is Gesh just steps forward and just says greetings and just takes a low bow, to try and
He says,
send some contact.
Yeah, he says, as you do that, he says, your courtesy is well received. Now, I sense you require our knowledge. What is it that you're seeking?
As I'm sure you're possibly aware, we come on a quest to find a man who goes by the name of Mogzanor. You may have heard of him referred to as the Pale Scholar.
He says, just so you, for some context, this is the sort of thing you're looking at.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
These are like the ones you see around the place.
Going around where?
Just like the room,
Oh,
like around the town and stuff, yeah. He says, yes, Mogzanor, the recluse. I know of him. We have had many dealings in the past. He is not one to be trifled with, but should you get to know him well, he is a keen ally.
Well, believe us, we mean no trifling.
I sense that. Now, I will happily divulge this information, and while I expect nothing in return, I would seek of your help should you be able to offer it.
What is it that you so require from us?
One of our sporlings, by the name of Hosby, has been missing for some time. Hosby has always been a challenging one to deal with. She seeks great adventure, although this is not the way of the Myconid people. We believe her ventures may have fallen her on bad stead, as there are many foul beasts that inhabit these caverns.
So you want us to look for a mushroom in a field of mushrooms?
Yes, I see how that may seem challenging. However, we do have our leads, and should Hosby be where I expect she may be, well, she will stick out like a sore thumb.
And where do you suspect she might be?
She says, there are mines in the north of the caverns. There are folk that inhabit that place, and while they tend to offer us no threat, for they seek no reward in our pillaging, nonetheless, should they have the opportunity to hold any bargaining tools over us, they would take them in an instant.
Are you referring to those drow and their settlements in the north? Because we ventured there just past, and we did not have much of an enjoyable time.
Well, you'll be pleased to know I do not suspect the drow. They have no need of our people, and many of us inhabit them side by side further in the Underdark. The people I talk of are the Tlinkali. They are a vicious people. They've travelled from far off lands. They are not common in these parts. However, they have set themselves up rather nicely. Now, I can sense the urgency of your task, and I simply request your aid. I will freely grant information you require, with no stipulations.
Whereabouts do these Tlinkali reside? They may well be on our way anyway.
There is a smaller sect of our people, a smaller sovereignty, if you will. It is called Noitos. It is in the far north. It lies very close to the Tlinkali mines.
So look on that.
You're here. Noitos is here.
Okay.
Tlinkali mines are here. He says they are fearsome folk, and if you are not equipped to deal with such a force, then I would not wish to see further death. However,
Further death? How do you know there's been further death?
I apologize for my intrusion, but I sense a great deal of loss between you. I sense it has come from this foul place.
You would be correct in presuming so.
Yes.
I do not mean to pry. The spores have a certain will of their own.
And Alhun inhabited a drow settlement not just northeast of here. I'm sure we're aware of it.
Yes. Our scouts have travelled to that part of the world to check on the progress of that place, only to find failure after failure for centuries. To learn that the Alhoun has been rid of the Cavern of the Gates is a great relief to us all.
Yes, but it was not without great expense to us in our party.
The trading rules of life can be cruel. I am sorry for your loss.
Thank you, Guldop. It was indeed dire. If you would be so kind as to tell us the location of Mogzanor, I can promise you we will endeavour to do our best to return your missing Spalling.
He says, of course, any aid we can seek at the moment to return one of our own would be highly sought.
And if these Tinkali are such vicious beasts, like you say they are, why do you think that this Hosby isn't in some kind of reside?
It is possible. However, it would be unwise of them to lose their one bargaining chip. I imagine she is held captive, and I fear greatly for her well-being.
Naturally.
Us Myconids, we are easily bruised.
Have you no army of your own, or scouting party that you could send to search for her? Would you not be sending us to a peril of our own?
Indeed, there is none in our forces that can stand up to the might of the Tlinkali. If you do not feel equipped, then I urge you not to go. However, should you feel as though it's something you could accomplish, it would merely you would be held in high regard.
There may always be a way to return your missing child without engaging the Tinkali in combat. If that is possible, we will of course attempt.
And what are they trying to get? What are they trying to bargain from you? Why is this Horsby a bargaining chip?
We do have certain secrets that can be valuable. We do not wish to share them with people such as the Tlinkali. For example, we know the caverns better than anyone else, including the location of your sword scholar. It is information such as this that they could drive out of us, should they threaten the life of our dear Spalling.
We do not wish to be dishonest with you, so we cannot promise that we will be able to return this Spalling of yours. However, any information that you would be willing to part to aid us on our journey would be greatly received.
Indeed.
You must understand that the loss of two of our kin means we are incredibly cautious at these times in engaging with powerful foe.
Indeed. As a gesture of goodwill, I will provide you with the initial information that you seek. You will find the Pale Scholar in the far reaches of the caverns, past the Lake of Effervescence. It is a treacherous marshland that is hard to navigate, and is guarded fiercely by the beast with lightning breath. If you're able to pass such a creature, you will be granted access to Mogzanor himself, and he will. You see, kind of like accidentally intruding further in thoughts. He says, and I'm sure he will be able to answer any questions you have. As for the Tlinkali themselves, should you seek that path, they are fierce warriors, and they are capable of delivering a potent venom which can be quite treacherous to those with flesh such as yours. They are fierce slave drivers. We do not know where they come from. Their origins are a mystery. They are certainly not from the Underdark, as none of our brethren in our far reaches have ever heard of such beasts. but nonetheless, they bring even further disharmonious. They bring even further disharmony to these lands. If you believe you are able to extract Hosby without suffering any losses of your own, or if in any way you're able to avoid conflict, although it may be challenging, I urge that to be the path you seek.
Then we will try our best.
You will be greatly rewarded by our kindness should you succeed.
A gift. A gift no one should turn their nose up at. We thank you for your generosity.
Of course. Spend as long here as you wish, and I may ask one more favour of you should you be able to grant it.
What would it be?
One of the young mushrooms here, by the name of Bigril, has a certain fascination with relics from the surface. They are rare in these parts. If you have anything, be it complex or simple, to offer him, it would be a great kindness.
Certainly, your information and already your hospitality. It is the least we can do.
You're right, James.
The mushroom's name was Bee Grill, like Bee Grill. And then I was just imagining a mushroom turning into a dragon.
The floppy dragon just now has a fucking fight. Where's my spools?
I show it the dragon amulet and it just clicks it.
Yes, so he says, thank you. And you see that this kind of mass, kind of like, its whole form kind of like slouches down, and you see like from this little sort of flap of like thin mushroom, this like large open kind of fat fingered hand just kind of reaches down and just gently moves another kind of smaller, more humanoid mushroom, and he kind of steps forward, kind of timid. He's got this bright blue total cap on its head, and he has these kind of like long drooping kind of slimy lichen fungi that are kind of coming down from its cap and its face, and it kind of walks forward timidly, and you just hear, I am Big Grill. You are.
How tall is Big Grill?
He's probably about like 4 feet tall.
Okay, cool. Well,
and he just says, your presence here is most interesting to me. May I? And then you hear Gul'dok say, "Go on, boy." And Biggle just says, "Yes, I would be fascinated if you could show me anything that you've brought with you."
And with that, like, Gesh steps forward and kneels down, still being a little bit taller than him. I then sort of go lower and I pull my pack round and I can't remember what we did like a little side quest with someone, and we got rewarded with some gems. I can't remember what it wasn't when you guys raided that guy's house.
I think he wants magic stuff though.
It's when you went into when you met the Corrid. He gave you some gems.
Yeah. Okay. So I take out my my blue sapphire that I've got in my pack, and I offer it out with both hands for.
He kind of looks at it for a minute and says, "Do you have anything crafted?"
As he does this,
Go on.
I just pull out my metal rod. I go to hand it to him, but before I do, I press the button, let go, and it just hovers in midair.
As you do, he goes, "Wow!" And he kind of puts his hand on it and he says, "How have you made stone fly?" And you see, he grabs onto it and tries to pull it down and hoiks himself up, and he's like, "Oh!" and sits up, stands up on it, and he kind of looks around, and you see all the other Myconids all have cheery grins, and you just have this you just hear the room filled with raucous laughter.
What was that from?
It's from Rugail.
Rugail gave it to us.
He says, I saw somebody come through once with a strand of rope from materials I've never seen before. Do you have any of that with you?
I have some hempen rope, young lad, but It's by no means exceptional. And I'll
He says,
take
what does hempen mean?
so well, let me show you. Take this little coil of rope out of my pack, and I'm like really confused that he's not excited by a sapphire, but he's excited by some rope. And
He's like sat.
I'll
He's
grab
like
my
sat.
magic rod and be like, all right.
he's like sat on this rod, and he like grabs the rope and he goes, yes, I've seen this before. And you see he kind of like he looks at you. He says, do you mind?
well, first let me show you, and I gesture for him to pass it back.
He hesitantly you see he's like seems to be really excited, and he goes, and before he hands it back, he throws it up in the air, and it kind of like falls down and like drapes over him and the rod, and he's like lifting it up and being like, yeah, like playing with it and stuff. He's just like thinks it's the dopest shit ever.
Yeah, well, wow, you think that's entertaining, lad? What's this? And I take it and I tie a lasso and I just go like this. I literally spin it round in like perfect circle, just going round and round.
Nice.
Just
You see, as he does, he's just like rolling around on the rod, and then like falls off, and you see like a chunk of like mushroom breaks off him, and he's like, oh, show me how you do that.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I know exactly how to do that. Let me explain in precise detail.
No, I'll go first, and I take a couple of steps back, and I'm still sort of going like that, and I throw it, and it lands over him, and then I pull him towards me.
Then I eat the fuck up.
No, I'll shit myself. Yeah, and then of course
Nice,
I go
yeah,
to
he's
show him
very
how to tie it
entertaining,
too,
very
yeah.
entertaining, yeah.
I
Nice.
can sidle up and just say, and look at this. They've made some really small ropes and put them on a box and twang the string of the noose at him.
Yeah, as you do, you see that like everyone, it's just like gasps all around, and everyone's like, there's like resonant noise. It's probably not something they've
Shaking
encountered
there.
before, yeah.
Shaking.
And like you see, like as you twang, like any of you are more keen-eyed, you see like because it vibrates the air, it obviously like vibrates the spores too, and this just has like you all hear this thing like really deep in your mind, this twang, and you see everyone's
Imagine
getting-
all our voices suddenly going, oh, we speak like this.
Yeah, everyone's like voices kind of like
It's so trippy.
it's like modular, kind of like merges in with the tone of the twang. Yeah, nice. Yeah, and maybe you spend a bit of time showing them various like funny little things, which you're welcome to do more. Happy to role play it. Yeah, nice. And Guldob says, oh yes, very entertaining. Now, you're welcome to stay here and rest as long as you wish. I sense the weariness you carry.
Yeah, so I have level 1 exhaustion.
Oh yes, that can be rather damaging.
What do we eat?
He says, we do have some challenge accommodating palates such as yours. We can offer you certain mushrooms that are available. However, our dealings with fleshy folk in the past have sometimes borne them ill will.
Mushrooms sound great.
Yes, this ill will you speak of, I've certainly experienced it. I do hope I've not eaten any of your kin on our travels.
He says, yes, I hope so too.
Here, look at my breeches.
In 10 levels time, we're going to blow this fucking kid's mind.
With a shoe. Yeah, nice. So they say they offer you these places where there's like soft mushroomy pads to sleep on, and you can spend some time here and
Just straight chilling.
yeah, pretty much.
Do they smoke anything?
They probably smoke spores.
Spores
Smoke
every day.
spores every day. Yeah, maybe like you get introduced to more like fun mushrooms, which get you to like inhale some funky spores and stuff. Have a bit of a trip.
And we're like playing the lute, like, bang,
Yeah, the room bends as you do. You're like
all the mushrooms like.
Yeah, nice.
What are they doing with the rope now?
I've given him the rope.
Yeah.
Oh,
What
sure,
are they
yeah,
doing?
I've straight up given
Yeah,
him
so
the
you
rope.
see that Big Will is just like constantly like tying him and his friends up, and then like trying to wiggle out of it, and they like throw it at people, and they try and make the lassos and fail every time.
Yeah.
And, like,
Sure. Can't make knots at all, just like plopping it around.
yeah,
Weird
yeah,
ways.
getting
Flicking
it
it.
up, yeah, nice.
So with a long rest, can I recover 1 level of exhaustion?
Yeah. and you can stay here another night if you want to get rid of the other one, or you can press on.
Might as well.
Yeah.
We've journeyed a few days into the Red Spore Caverns to get here, haven't we? So yeah.
Shall we maybe like pause here and wait for the next sesh?
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, I think that's
like
good.
a natural stopping point.
Yeah, I'm just starting to get tired.
Sure. Can you point out on the map where we are, where the kid is, and Western Valley, and where the deep cave with the electric beast is?
Yeah. So this is where you are now. This is the other friendly mushroom place.
Oh, right across the whole thing.
Yeah, there's another friendly mushroom place here too, which is on your map. This is the Tillincali mines, where they expect Hosby to be. This is the marsh of effervescence.
Okay.
So you expect Mogzanor lives in this cabin here.
Where did we come in, real quick?
From here.
Okay, cool.
And
Anyone
what
up for
monster did he say is guarding the Martians?
They call it the Beast of Lightning Breath.
Actually, that's
Yeah, true.
Beast of Lightning Breath.
What did you ask? Sorry.
I just said what's guarding those Martians.
Beast of Lightning Breath.
It's just all they know is it to be is the Beast of Lightning Breath.
Hopefully it's Khazal. We can be like, slave, let me through.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cool.
Nice. And then
GG's.
next session you can ask them more questions or whatever. And
Done up with this fucker up here.
yeah, good session, Phil. That was nice and relaxing. It was quite fun.
Nice role playing and everything.
Yeah.
Nice.
I love